What up, what up, what up, what up? Guys, we are less than 1 week away from the 2026 NFL draft. I can't believe it. I feel like it just snuck up on me, right? Like it got here so quickly. I feel like I blinked and free agency came and went, and now we're here and it's NFL draft time, less than a week away. Honestly, I wanted to watch more film on the streams and do more, but it just snuck up, and here we are. And so now I got to make up for lost time, and that's why I'm live here on a Friday, 1 week from day 2 of the NFL draft. So here we go. I'm very, very excited about the NFL draft, but I'm very, very frustrated about what's going on with Dexter Lawrence and the New York Giants. So I'm here to discuss that. I'm here to discuss the draft. I'm here to discuss everything around the New York Giants right now with all of you in the chat. What up, NATO? What up, Dog Dinner? What up, Simply CC? What up, Santi? What up, Giovanni? What's going on, everybody? Hey, Will. Happy to see you all in here joining me on this lovely Friday afternoon. It's super rainy and crappy outside for me down here in Florida. Shout out Justin, always trolling me with the "is this live" joke every time he pops in. We are live here on Fireside Giants. Guys, drop some W's in the chat if you're excited for the NFL draft. If you're excited to see me live right now and catch me on the stream, just drop some W's. Let's get some good vibes here. All right, let's have some fun. Let's have a good time. I know Dexter Lawrence has spirits down, but, let's bring the spirits up. Let's get excited for the draft. LFG, WWWW. All right, so there's plenty to discuss. Obviously, the Dexter Lawrence stuff is going on, but I actually want to start with some of the draft storylines because just before I went live, and yes, I'm sorry that I went live late. I thought I scheduled it for 1:45. Apparently, I put 1:40, so I had a few of you waiting on me in the chat. But here I am live now. Better late than never is what I like to say to my girlfriend. All right. It's a Friday. Okay, so here's the latest report from Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. Joe Schoen flying to Arizona to see Jordan Tyson this close to the draft backs up whispers that the Giants think highly of Tyson. At 5, they're sitting higher than he's projected to go, but a possible target in a trade back scenario. I saw Peter Schrager of formerly NFL Network, now with ESPN. He said to Jordan Renan of ESPN on the Breaking Big Blue podcast this week that he wouldn't be shocked if the Giants took Jordan Tyson at number 5 overall if Tyson has a clean workout and medical during his workout today. So Tyson sounds like a player that the Giants are super interested in. There's evidence to back that up in a few cases. Number one, the Giants have met with him several times, including the Combine and his pro day. Number two, John Harbaugh only went to 2 pro days this offseason. The first one being Ohio State makes sense. The second one being Arizona State, which doesn't really make sense unless they really like Jordan Tyson. So it sounds like the Giants love Jordan Tyson. It sounds like he absolutely is a target for them. Joe Schoen flying out to Arizona today with less than a week before the draft to meet with Jordan Tyson. Very interesting happenings here for the New York Giants as they are absolutely interested in Tyson. So, guys, drop your takes on Tyson in the chat. I will drop mine, and we can go ahead and dive into it. But I do find it very interesting that there's this big wave of buzz as we get, under a week to the NFL draft. Now there's this big wave of buzz about how much the New York Giants just love Jordan Tyson. So I'll say this. I think Tyson's a really damn good player. I would not take him inside the top 10, though. There's just no way. I'd take him top 20, but I wouldn't take him in the top 10 with that injury history. His injury history is kind of absurd. I mean, broken collarbone, torn ACL or LCL, whatever it was, pulled hamstring. I mean, his hamstring pull that he had in October kept him out of workouts all the way through March. Hamstring pull in October, and you can't run a 40-yard dash until April? You skipped your pro day in the Combine because of a hamstring pull from October? I don't know, guys. Red flag to me. Not a red flag to the Giants, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think it's smoke, though, Tim DeJoseph, because if it was just smoke, I think the Giants would put the interest out there, but they wouldn't fly across the country to meet with him at this workout. I mean, Joe Schoen doesn't have to be there for this. They could just send head of scouting, but Joe Schoen is there, and I think that's notable. So let me go through the chat. I see NATO saying, no Diddy. What's that in reference to? What did I say? What did I do now? I am not fried. I am just high on life. I'm just happy to be here, less than a week till the draft and happy that it's Friday. My goodness. Carnell Tate at 5. Interesting, NATO. We'll see. We'll see. I know that Scat absolutely loves Jordan Tyson, their former teammates. And Scat actually was at a workout in Arizona in early February and said that he's told Joe Schoen that he wants John Harbaugh and the Giants to take Jordan Tyson. I am not on the In the Cloud, Justin. I do have some. That's our sponsor over on Giants Collective, but I'm not hitting the In the Cloud today. Not really much of a guy to stand in the cloud. It's more of a guy to have a nice beer on a Friday afternoon, which I haven't even done yet, and I'm acting this way anyway. Echo saying 5 seems high, but I could see him not being there in a trade back with the Browns and Chiefs, maybe others. Yeah, I could see either of those teams taking Jordan Tyson. I could see him going as early as 7 to the Washington Commanders, but as late as like 26 to the Bills. I think he's got a wide range, and it's really dependent on his health. Does he have this clean medical bill at the workout today? Do teams feel comfortable taking him top 10? I just personally can't look at that career history of injuries and think this guy is anything but just severely unlucky. And I don't think that's luck that just turns around. I think he's just got bad luck with injuries. I'm not burning a top 5 pick, top 10 pick on a player with that kind of injury history personally. But that's just me. He is super talented, though. I know people like to compare him to Odell. My personal pro comp for Jordan Tyson is prime Stephon Diggs. The way he moves, the way he runs his routes, the physicality that he plays with, it's very similar to Stephon Diggs when he was coming out of Maryland and when he was playing for the Minnesota Vikings. The real question is, what the hell is Arizona going to do? I think they're going to trade down, and I honestly think there's a really good chance that the team trading up is the Dallas Cowboys. There's reports that the Cowboys want to trade up just to get ahead of the New York Giants because they want a player that they think that the Giants want. I think they're going to be successful. Dallas has shown a couple things over the last 2 years. Number one, they are super aggressive. Number two, F them picks. They don't care about them. They just want to get high-level players. Number three, they have a shitty defense, and they need to improve it. So I think they're trying to trade up for Sonny Styles, personally. Also, I did mention one of my sponsors over on Giants Collective, so that's a good time for me to just kind of mention another sponsor, which is right up here, and that's Prize Picks, guys. Prize Picks is the sponsor of Giants Collective, or of Giants Collective and of Fireside Giants this season. We are going to build some lineups on Prize Picks in a little bit here, so stay tuned to that. But just want to give a shout out and a thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring this live stream. Yeah, he hit 26 reps on the bench, which was the strongest of anybody at the combine at the wide receiver position, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like close to a record for wide receivers at the combine. I mean, for him to be putting up 26 reps is kind of insane. He is a strong wide receiver, and he is an outside wide receiver, to clarify. I mentioned Stephon Diggs, and Diggs was like a kind of inside-outside guy, played a lot in the slot, did play a lot outside as well, but I actually think that Tyson at 6'2" could totally play the X if you needed him to. But I think that makes him a perfect Z opposite Malik Neighbors. But again, I wouldn't take him over Carnell Tate. Like, if we're talking about taking him at 5, that means that Carnell Tate is still on the board. Okay, gotcha. Wow, 27 was DK Metcalf, and Tyson put up 26. That's kind of absurd. Just for me, though, I don't think that the talent difference can be perceived as that great between Tate and Tyson to justify taking Tyson over Tate, knowing he has that medical history and Tate doesn't. Plus, me personally, I think Tate's the better receiver. I prefer his skill set and his style of play and his efficiency over Jordan Tyson. Sorry, not sorry. That's just my personal take on it. And you guys know I have a really good track record when it comes to scouting collegiate receivers. Do not mention Xavier Legette, though. But outside of that, I've got a really good track record with scouting wide receivers. I mean, hey, I had so many people coming after me in the comments in that 2024 offseason. Everybody was like, how could you have Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr.? You're crazy. Not so crazy now, am I? Simply CC, my take comp is the Devontae Smith of Mike Evans. That's honestly kind of similar to what I have because I initially had my pro comp for Tate as Devontae Smith. I changed it to Chris Olave, but I think either one of those or a mashup of them is kind of, what I see in Tate because Tate is thin in his frame, and he definitely needs to add size, in my opinion. Well, not necessarily need to, because Devontae Smith hasn't, and he's Slim Reaper. He's still an elite receiver, I think. But I would say I would like to see him add some more mass. But I also think he's stronger than Devontae Smith, and he does have more mass and strength than Devontae Smith does, and it shows up at the catch point. So I don't know. Guys, what do you guys, how are we feeling about Dexter Lawrence right now? Where does everybody in the chat stand? Shout out to the 227 of you tuning in across YouTube and X combined. Love you guys, my Giants family. But let me hear your takes on Dexter Lawrence, because I feel like the fan base is super divided. I feel like there's half of the fan base that's like, F Dexter, move on, I don't want him here. And then there's the other half that's like, F Joe Schoen, get the contract done, keep him on the team. So drop it in the chat. Say either like Bryce did just now, trade Dexter or sign Dexter. Let me hear it. And then I will give my take after you guys drop your takes, because I think mine is pretty interesting. I've been thinking about it a lot. And obviously, you know, I've been doing this show. I've been doing Giants Collective, and I've been chatting on the side with Alex, because we text constantly. That guy does not stop hitting up my line. We text all the time. And so I'm kind of like collecting different thoughts and opinions. And I've come to my conclusion on how I feel about this Dexter Lawrence situation. I do agree, though, Skate. It's just bad timing. What's the max I'd give Dexter Lawrence is such a good question, because I don't know if you guys saw the Will Anderson contract that just got signed. $50 million a season? I mean, Myles Garrett's only getting 40. So here's the thing. Will Anderson's now getting 50, right? Myles Garrett had an earth-shattering contract where he was getting paid 40 last year. Myles Garrett is going to ask for a raise next year, even if he has a down year compared to the one he just had, which was the greatest pass rushing season in history. You know, he had 23 sacks. He's going to have a down year. He's not going to hit 23 sacks again, right? So you're going to have a down year from Myles Garrett, statistically speaking, and he's going to ask for a raise because the market moved. And the Browns will give it to him, but the Giants won't give it to Dex. And I get it. Myles Garrett, Dexter Lawrence, different caliber players for sure, but you're talking about the best player on your team. The market moved past where you signed them to. It's similar. And my point really by bringing that up is the way that the market is moving every single year and the players getting paid more and more and more every single year, you have to assume when you sign a player to a 5-year deal that they're going to want to raise at some point during the contract. And if you still believe in that player and believe that they're the best player on your team, then you have to be prepared to give that raise. So, all right, let me read this. I'll read the text that I sent to Alex. This is my take on the situation now. And I want you guys to have an open mind and listen to it carefully, and then, you know, counter if you disagree or tell me if you do agree. So here's my take. The locker room hates Joe Schoen. When he's negotiating with players in the building, he pinches pennies. He often draws these hard lines in the sand and refuses to negotiate past a certain point with the Giants' own players, right? They can't really afford to lose Dexter Lawrence. Their run defense is so bad already. Their defensive line is so bad on the interior already. They can't really afford to lose him. And so we talk all the time about how the Giants are very cap healthy and have a lot of future money, right? They have no money tied up in 2027, 2028, 2029. They have money to spend. So my take is sacrifice the future cap space, pay Dexter Lawrence, make him happy, and consider that payment your way of buying back the trust of the locker room and smoothing things over with the players in the locker room who all hate you. It's a sacrifice for a greater good, because to me, it should be about this. It should be about winning. It shouldn't be about winning the contract negotiations. It should be about getting the players' favor back and making them happy by demonstrating that you're willing to pay up to keep your best players in-house. You might have to overpay your own players sometimes, but the locker room would rather you overpay your own players than overpay a Paulson Adebo or Javon Holland. So if the Giants have so much future cap space and money, there's no excuse for them not to pay the raise to their own player to make him and the rest of the locker room happy. That's my take on it. You have the money. It's not like it's coming out of nowhere. And the thing is, people will say Dexter Lawrence had a down year. He didn't play like the player that we're accustomed to, right? But Dexter Lawrence, if he were a free agent right now, is getting well over $30 million a year. Tyler Linderbaum just reset the market by over $10 million coming off of a down year. You're telling me Dexter Lawrence isn't getting that $30 million plus price tag if he's a free agent right now? He is. Hate to break it to you guys, but several teams will be lining up to give him $35 million probably. I think Dex on the open market would probably get $35 million. And you can get him for probably 31 because he's not on the open market. And again, this isn't about paying him. I know that he paid him, Dr. Pancake. Shane paid Dex. Yes. Dex was excited to sign the $90 million contract. Yes. But he signed him to a 5-year deal, not a 3-year deal. But he only gave him 3 years of guaranteed money. So he gave him a 3-year deal with team options at the back end. The Giants are the only team that routinely does this. Everybody goes to the Saquon Barkley contract negotiations, right? They say the Giants tried to pay Saquon. They offered him more money than the Eagles, but they didn't. They might have offered him more average annual salary than the Eagles, but they offered him significantly less guaranteed money. Why did they do that? So that they could pay him for a couple of years and then cut him. That's what they did to Dex. They paid him so they could have him on contract for a couple of years, then cut him. The Giants have to stop signing players to those contracts because it creates a distrust and a disloyalty. So again, my take on it is simple. Everybody in the locker room already hates Joe Schoen. Pay the extra few $1 million to keep your best player on the roster to smooth things over with them because they have the money. That's just my take on it. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they are going to wind up trading Dex. And I'll say this, the fact that they haven't gotten the contract done means that John Harbaugh is on board with trading Dex. John Harbaugh is involved in these negotiations. He has final say. If John Harbaugh wanted them to reach the contract point that Dexter Lawrence wants, they would have done it because it's John Harbaugh's call. Let's say Dex is asking for X amount. If Harbaugh wants to reach that X amount, they would have. It's as simple as that. But if he doesn't, then they find themselves in the situation that they're in right now. So we got a couple super chats. Let me get to those. Mendez Sports, thank you so much, saying love the channel. I really love Tate in this draft. I love you, and I love all of you viewing. So thank you. And I also love Carnell Tate in this draft. Carnell Tate is so slept on. I don't know why there's like this huge mass of fans that just think he is, overrated because he didn't put up a bunch of yards last year in an Ohio State offense that A, had a lot of mouths to feed, B, had a generational talent in Jeremiyah Smith opposite him. He is just a really good player who was playing with other really good players. That's why the statistical output was low. But if you watch the film and you really watch Carnell Tate play, dude's elite, and he could be an elite player at the next level. That's my take on it. Matt, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you saying, if Dex is not traded before or during the draft, would you say it's a lock he's on the team for at least the season? No, I wouldn't say that, because if he's not traded before or after the draft, there is potential that he gets traded in the summer. Sometimes we see players get traded in July around training camp, just before preseason starts, because they're holding out. They're not reporting to camp. The team gets frustrated and they're like, F it, I'm done. And then they trade him. So we could see that, and that might be the route that the Giants take because they want 2027 draft capital rather than 2026. So that's my take. Would I take Tate or Love? This is a really tough question for me because Tate's my WR1. Love is my overall number one player in the class, but the wide receiver position is so much more valuable than the running back position. So it's a toss-up for me. I wouldn't be upset with either one. But I would lean BPA and go with Jeremiyah Love, guys. I think that Jeremiyah Love, if I had to water gun to my head, I have to pick one player in this draft class that's going to wear a gold jacket one day, I'm picking Jeremiyah Love. I think he is that good. He is a rare talent. I don't think I would go on a limb and say I think Tate's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think Jeremiyah Love has a really good shot at being a Hall of Famer. So that's my take on that, and that's why I would go Love. But if I was playing the positional value game, I think Tate's the better pick. I really don't think this Giants team is in a position to take a running back with the 5th overall pick, but he's not just a running back. He is a freaking weapon. Yeah, it is a deep wide receiver class. Snow Bunny King. What an awesome name. Thanks for the super chat, man. We have a franchise quarterback now, pay Dex. I agree. We do have a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. And because of that, you have him on a cost-controlled rookie contract. So you have the money in the future to pay your best players right now. So this is what I'll say. And thanks again for the super chat. We see teams like the Eagles and the Chiefs and other teams, really good teams, do this all the time. Let me bring up a few examples. When Patrick Mahomes signed his record-breaking $40 million a year contract, he got a raise, I think, 2 years later because the rest of the market moved. He was already, getting paid a ton. And yeah, I know that they were winning. And I'll get to that point in the argument in a second if you guys bring it up. But 2 years after he signed a 7-year contract, he got a raise. Think about that. It was a 7-year deal that he signed, and he got a raise after only 2 years just because the market moved past him. And the Chiefs wanted to keep him happy. The Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley 2 off seasons ago. He had a record-breaking first season, and they immediately gave him a new contract after that season. They didn't wait 2 years. They didn't wait 3 years. They didn't let him play out the contract. They immediately gave him a raise because the market dictated he deserved a raise. Chris Jones was coming off of a down year, but he wanted a new contract. The Chiefs gave it to him because the market moved, and they made him the highest paid defensive tackle in football because they believed that he deserved to be, even though he was coming off of a down year. So the argument against what I'm about to say is those teams are winning Super Bowls. They're good football teams, so they can do that. Those guys earned it because the team is winning. The argument that I'll make against that is they're not doing this because they're winning Super Bowls. They're winning Super Bowls because they're doing this, right? Because they make their players happy, because they pay them and give them raises and keep their best players on the team, they win Super Bowls. They're not paying their best players because they're winning Super Bowls. They're winning Super Bowls because they're paying their best players. So, again, I don't think the Giants should be pinching pennies with Dexter Lawrence. I think they should be taking a page out of the Eagles and the Chiefs playbook and saying, maybe you're coming off of a down year. You're still the best player on this roster, in our opinion, arguably. I know it's debatable now because Brian Burns had such an awesome season. But, Dex is the best player on this team. You just have to sacrifice the, $4 million in a gap that you guys have in these negotiations. $4 million is a punter nowadays. All right, sign Dexter Lawrence. That's my take on it. Make him happy, and as a result, watch the rest of the locker room be happy, because this is only creating more problems. Because now the Giants are being stingy with their money. So they're being stingy with their money now. What about next year when Brian Burns has another 12-plus sacks? He's going to want a raise. He's making $28 million a year. Brian Burns on the open market is easily worth $40 million. He is underpaid by about $12 million right now. Are the Giants going to play this game again next year and say, well, we've got you under contract for another couple of years, not going to pay you? You can't keep doing this. It's a cycle every year. The Giants are finding themselves in the situation because they keep signing long-term contracts with front-loaded guarantees and then screwing their players over for the final 2 years of the contract. You can't keep doing that. It's bad business. That's it. So make him happy, make the rest of the locker room happy, and go from there. Guys, I see both of you saying this back-to-back. Reckless saying he wants out. Even if we give him the money, he wants out. Bring players who want to be here. I get that. He doesn't want to be here anymore. He doesn't want to be here because this is how Joe Schoen operates, and he doesn't want to play under Joe Schoen anymore. That's what it is. Like, he doesn't want to be here, not because he hates New York, not because he hates Giants fans, not because he hates Carl Banks, as some people on Twitter are saying. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he knows anytime he plays well, he can't trust the general manager to reward him. That's the issue. He just doesn't like seeing players leave. He doesn't like the way that the general manager treats players, himself included. Dexter Lawrence is not just making a stand right now, making it clear that he doesn't want to play here for him. He's actually trying to make a stand for the entire Giants locker room. That's what this is. This is him rebelling against Joe Schoen, not just for himself, but for Leonard Williams, for Julian Love, for Saquon Barkley, for a Wandale, for a Cordell Flott. Like, that's what this is about. It's not just about Dexter Lawrence. It's about the locker room. This is like honestly the first domino to fall in a rebellion because, again, like I said, he's doing this. And then if they say, screw you, we're not going to pay you, we're going to trade you. Next year, Brian Burns is going to say the same thing. I want my money. I don't trust you to pay it to me. I don't want to be here. That's what this is about. It's not about he just doesn't want to be with the Giants. He wants a new general manager running the show for the Giants. Otherwise, he doesn't want to be with the Giants. I agree, Greg. He's created a monster. Joe Schoen has created a monster. This is an ugly situation, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. So I think we'll see, keep moving, see what happens. We got a couple more super chats here, so let me dive into this. Will Anderson, thank you so much, Carter, saying Will Anderson is about to make $50 million per year. Burns is making 28. Could we find ourselves in this situation next year? The front office has to be careful. That's exactly what I'm saying, Carter. That's exactly the situation that the Giants are heading for next year. Burns is severely underpaid right now. And guys, Burns knows that. And Burns is already starting to feel that. He got 16.5 sacks this past season. If he got 16.5 sacks for a team not named the New York Giants, they would have given him a raise. He wouldn't even have to ask. He wouldn't have to wait another year. The Giants are the only team that says, we already signed you to an extension. That's good enough. They're the only team that do this. Other teams would say, you played great. I know that you're making 28. We're going to push you up to 35. That's how good teams operate, and that's why they keep their players, and that's why their locker rooms are happy. I'm telling you guys, the Giants are the only teams that play this hardball with their own players. You have to reward your players. That's it. So, yes, they're going to find themselves in this situation. Again, this is the tip of the iceberg that they're playing hardball with Dexter Lawrence right now. This is going to create a domino effect and multiple problems for them in the future. It already is. And this isn't even the first domino to fall. This started years ago with Saquon, truthfully. Saquon did the same thing that Dexter Lawrence is doing right now. Everybody said Saquon had a down year, his final year at the New York Giants, and that's why they let him go. He wasn't the same player. Then he went to Philadelphia, and he proved, oh, crap, he was holding back. He is still the same player. In fact, he's better than he's ever been. Dexter Lawrence held back last year, but he still played all 17 games. He was injured, and he still played all 17 games. We got fans saying that Dexter Lawrence threw hissy fits and dragged his feet and was complaining. The guy was hurt the whole year, refused to admit that he was hurt because he didn't want that to be an excuse for the way that he was playing, took the high road when Carl Banks publicly called him out, took the high road when Art Stapleton publicly called him out, and played all 17 games. Dexter Lawrence was the one that disciplined Deonte Banks on the sideline when he was not showing an effort. Not the coaches. Dexter Lawrence did that. He was still leading the team by example and being a captain. So I hate that there's some fans that are saying he was in a pissy mood all year last year. He didn't try last year. Did he hold back a little bit? Maybe. But he was playing hurt and still appeared in all 17 games. He easily could have said, I'm injured, I'm not playing. And he didn't do that. And I think he deserves some credit for that. Azur, thank you so much for the super chat saying Dex cried shortly after his extension. And the moment the guaranteed money ran out, he throws a tantrum. What's to stop him from crying again when someone leaps over him in a year or two? Nothing. Nothing's going to stop him from doing that. But if he's on another team, he probably doesn't have to worry about that because they probably give him a 2-year contract and then just renegotiate with him after 2 years rather than doing the Giants tactic of a long-term contract that's really a short-term contract. That's where this is coming from. The players hate these contracts. They're signing them because they're being offered $90 million guaranteed. It's a lot of money. It's hard to say no to, A. And B, they probably don't know any better because it's their first time signing an extension. And C, they don't really have that many options because they're not allowed to negotiate with other teams. So they're only allowed to negotiate with the Giants. So they're signing these contracts, and then after a few years, the contracts become outdated, and they're realizing that they got screwed by those contracts. So, but the Giants are the only team that routinely sign their players to short-term contracts that are presented as long-term contracts. Same thing with Brian Burns. He's got no guaranteed money left on his contract after next year. Expect him to hold out. Same thing with Andrew Thomas. Expect him to hold out. You can't keep doing this. The Giants can't keep doing this. It's not sustainable. It's why the locker room hates Joe Schoen. He got a D+ on the NFLPA report card. That is by far the worst rating that any general manager got. That ranks him as the most hated general manager in football by his own locker room. That's not acceptable. It's not okay. The Giants have to make some sort of a change. So that's my take on it. Nothing stops him from getting mad again in 2 years. You're right. But a different team doesn't do this to their players. That's it. And I get this too. Oh, he only got $90 million. I am not being sympathetic about I don't feel bad for the fact that he only got $90 million. I'm just telling you how the players see it. I'm not telling it from my perspective. I'm not telling it from, it's from his perspective. I'm trying to give it from the perspective of the players. Carter, I listen, I'm not a Joe Schoen fan. Everybody knows that. But I'm not even blaming Joe Schoen for the situation. I understand where he's coming from. I get his perspective. From the perspective of the Giants, this player didn't play as well as he usually does last year, and he wants more money. We don't have to give that to him because we signed him to this long-term contract, so we're not going to give it to him. That's fine. That's their right to hold him to this contract. They have every right to do that. I'm just saying most teams don't do that, and this is why. Because then you get contract problems like this, and you get disgruntled players all over your locker room. I don't know. Right, like he'll re-sign Darius Slayton, but he can't find the extra $4 million to give to Dexter Lawrence. Come on, guys. Dexter Lawrence is 5 times the player that Darius Slayton is. Bingo. That's exactly how this should be looked at. The reason, Moccasin, the reason why people don't look at it this way is because of how big the numbers are for NFL players. Because you look at an NFL player's contract of $26 million a year, and you're like, really? You need another several $1 million? I would kill for $1 million, right? That's how a lot of fans look at it, and I understand that. Like, how can you be crying for more money when you're already making more money than God? I understand that. But these guys just operate in a different realm. They're in a whole different stratosphere. And you have to look at it like this, relative to your market, your industry. If you're making $50,000 at your job, but at another company, the guy in the same job as you doing the work worse than you is making $70,000, you're going to demand a raise or you're going to leave. And also, let's say that you're making $50,000 on a 3-year contract with your job. I don't know. That's not really how contracts work, but whatever. Let's say you're signing your salary is $50,000 a year, and you're clearly providing $100,000 in value, and you shouldn't have to demand a raise if you're just so obviously outperforming your contract or outperforming the market value of your contract. The team should just give you the raise, right? Or your company should just give you the raise. If you are worth more than your contract, you should just expect your company to give you the raise. If they don't, you become annoyed, you become disgruntled, and then you look to go to a different company. So that's true as well, Simply CC. It's true. You might not have any income for being bold, but not in the NFL. Because in the NFL, there are 32 teams that absolutely want a Dexter Lawrence. I get it. It's entitlement, guys, but they're just living in different tax brackets. That's what it is. I'm definitely not a simp. A simp is crazy. I'm only a simp for my girl who was in the chat earlier. Shout out to my girlfriend. What's up, rookie? I don't know if she's still here. Hope so. Well, this is my thing is I don't think Dex showed up late, and I don't think he didn't perform. I think that he showed up all 17 games despite having a broken elbow, right? Like a not fully operational elbow. He still played all 17 games. He showed up. And also, I get that he only had 0.5 sacks, right? He only had a half a sack last year. So everybody's like, why are we going to give a guy a raise after a half a sack? You know, he hasn't had a full sack in 24 games. He's a nose tackle. Since when have we measured a nose tackle success on the field by sacks? We don't do that. We've never done that. We've only started doing that because Dexter Lawrence was such a rare talent who got a lot of sacks as a nose tackle. But nose tackles do not get those sacks. Let's think of Vince Wilfork, for example. He was the best nose tackle during that run with the New England Patriots. What's his career high in sacks? It can't be high. Haloti Ngata with the Baltimore Ravens was a nose tackle. He was not a sack artist. He was a guy whose job was to soak up double and triple teams and stop the run. And Dexter Lawrence soaks up double and triple teams. It's not his fault that the other defensive tackles can't stop the run. He is double teamed 76% of the time. That's 20% higher than the next highest player. That's absurd. It is the bar that he set, Carter. It is the bar that he set, but it's not the bar that the market set, and that's the point. So, Tim, we love you too. And hey, we can agree to disagree. That's the whole point. That's how we get good conversations like this, is by agreeing to disagree. I also don't know what Sean Marash's take is, so, but NJ Swamp Fox, this is what I'll say to this. If Dexter Lawrence was a free agent right now, he's getting at least $30 million. The conversation starts at 30 and it probably goes higher. If he was a free agent on the open market, at least $30 million is landing in his lap. Well, let me actually check the stats on this one, Shot D, because, well, okay. Dexter Lawrence. Let's go to his pressures. Let's also keep in mind, guys, he was the 7th highest graded pass rushing defensive tackle in football last year and the 9th overall player. Pretty good numbers. All right, let's go by position. Let's go pass rush grades. And let's go teams New York Giants. He had 34 pressures. The next defensive tackle on the team had 8. 8 pressures. No, I'm sorry, 15. There's no way Dex gets only 25 to 27 on the open market. Guys, 27? That's what Tyler Linderbaum got. Dex gets more than 27, for sure. And yeah, Brian Burns had 16.5 sacks last year. Brian Burns just publicly said, I don't want to play on a team that doesn't have Dexter Lawrence. Because Brian Burns knows that he got a lot of those sacks because Dexter Lawrence was pushing the pocket. This is what I'm saying, though, Thomas. I'm not being an apologist to these millionaires. I don't care. It's just a different tax bracket. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not being an apologist. I don't feel bad for him that he's missing out on more and more millions. I get it, but I don't feel bad for Dexter Lawrence. I'm not being an apologist. I'm just trying to give you perspective, like, on what I know from the locker room. I'm trying to tell you guys how he feels, how the locker room feels, and how if they allow this disgruntlement within the locker room to continue to grow, it's going to create more problems. Like, you guys might just view this as a Dexter Lawrence issue, but it's not. It's an issue with all of the players if they don't get this deal done. Like, this is going to create there's already a distrust in the locker room. It's going to get worse and worse over the next several years. Like, I'm trying to explain why the Giants have to smooth this over to avoid like a coup from the locker room over the next few years. I'm not an apologist for these players. I don't give a shit how much they're making. They're making more money than I'll ever see in my life. I understand that. I gotta lower this light. It is blinding me. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Can't see in here. Going blind. It's not even lowering. Oh, well. So one shot, I don't disagree with that. The Giants defense is bad when he's on the team. It's bad when he's off the team, right? When he's on the field, it's bad. When he's off the field, it's bad. Like, this Giants defense sucks. And I get the argument that fans make, well, we're not winning games with him, so we'll be this. It's not going to hurt us if we lose him. That's not true. The grass is not always greener. It can always get worse. Giants fans should know that by now. We think we hit rock bottom, and then we hit a new rock bottom. Giants fans should know that, A. B, the reason that all these good teams stay good is because they overpay their in-house players. They pay them. They make them happy. Like, fans, again, they say, we weren't winning with him, so we can move on and try and win without him. Maybe that's true. But also, the best teams in the NFL do not have that mindset. The best teams in the NFL say, we haven't been winning. He's not the reason why we haven't been winning. In fact, if we do start winning, he's the reason why we're winning. We're going to keep him. That's just my take on it. Yeah, I did see Brandon Dart's tweet. That's Jackson Dart's dad, for those of you who don't know. And I think it's very interesting. That's definitely insight into how Jackson Dart feels, for sure. All right, guys. So before we get deeper into this live stream, let me go ahead and give a shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. All right. Share my screen. Give a shout out. Shout out to the Knicks. We are not doing a Knicks live stream. That's from my boy Dylan. Go subscribe to Fireside Knicks if you haven't and check that out. I know that they're preparing for the playoffs. So, all right, guys, we're going to do a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, which is Prize Picks. So, Prize Picks, if you aren't playing yet, you're definitely missing out. It's the #1 sports pick app. It is a daily fantasy sports platform. The app is super easy to use. You can even use it on desktop, which we're doing right now. There are no complicated lines to worry about. You just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. It's incredibly straightforward, and Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. One of the coolest parts is that Prize Picks has a feature that allows you to follow your friends and others on the app like you would any social media platform. You can even follow me on the app, at Anthony Rivardo. Yeah, that's right, guys. You can tail all of my lineups. You can go on here, find the lineups that I've got going on, see what I'm picking, and pick with me. So definitely follow me at Anthony Rivardo. And if you want to get in on the action, download the app, use the code HMA and our link down below in the description. You will get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So good luck, enjoy the games, and remember to play responsibly. And real quick, we're just going to put together a lineup together. We're going to go over to the NFL season, and we're going to pick a couple of lines that I really like. So one of them is Will Anderson, 11 sacks. He got paid $50 million a year. There's a reason for that. He's an absolute dog. I think he's going to clear 11 sacks, so I'll go with more on that. And I also think with no David Montgomery in the backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs is ready to run rampant. So I'm going to take the more on 1,225 rushing yards. And let's build that lineup, submit it. And guys, like I said, follow me at Anthony Rivardo on Prize Picks. You can tail this lineup. Let me know what you think of it. And also make sure to use the link down below. Play $5 to get $50 instantly. I don't know what Abdul Carter's is. I'll try and check. I don't know if Abdul Carter's on here yet. Yeah, I don't see Abdul Carter on here yet. But once he is, we'll definitely start making picks on Carter. Burns for sure. I'll take more on Burns. But yeah, guys, check out Prize Picks. Use code HMA, get $5 to get $50 instantly. $50, that's a pretty good deal. All right, so back into our lively debate that we're having up here about sexy Dexy. Sexy, Dexy, sexy, Dexy. Also, shout out King GB Lotto, friend of the channel. You guys have seen him on here before. That's my guy, Daniel, if you guys remember him. Hope you're doing well, brother. And congrats. What could we get for Dex, and who would I pick in the draft knowing this? How about we do a mock draft? Anybody want to do a mock draft? We can do a few of them. We can do mock drafts with a trade for Dexter Lawrence. We can just do straight up mock drafts. We can do all team mock drafts, just Giants mock drafts. You guys want to do some mock drafts? Drop a 1 in the chat if you want me to do a mock draft. Do it. Do it. Mock draft time. Yes, sir. All right, I'll do it. We got good energy today. Would you guys hate me if I ran away to grab a fun beverage out of my fridge real quick, or would you guys be happy to see me do that? There's a good chance that the live stream lasts longer if I do that. I'll go ahead and say that. Wow, lots of ones in the chat. We're definitely doing a live stream. Or, I mean, a mock draft. 1-1-1-1-1. Yeah, you like that, J-Dub? It's a Friday. Dex trade mock draft. How about I drop a little something for you guys? Getting one with me? Oh, now I got to do it. Daniel's grabbing a fun drink with me. Now I got to do it. Also, I got to give a shout out to NYGFL. I saw him in the chat earlier, and he's always in the chat for all of these live streams. So let me quickly show you guys what NYGFL sent me. And a big thank you to NYGFL because this is really cool. I got to order a frame for it and put it in the background. But check this out. NYGFL, one of our best subs that we've got, sent me this poster. Plaxico for the win from Super Bowl 42. It's the whole play drawn up in design of when Eli hit Plaxico in the back corner of the end zone, the game winner in Super Bowl 42. This thing is awesome. I mean, you guys know me, football nerd. So I love drawing up the plays. You guys have seen me do the film breakdowns on the channel. And seeing it drawn out this way with that little, post corner that Plaxico ran to win the Super Bowl. Perfect throw from Eli, by the way. That thing hung in the air perfectly to drop on his chest. This is really cool. So thank you, NYGFL. Much love to you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, now give me 1 second. We're going to pull up the mock draft machine. I'm going to sprint to my fridge. And we're going to have some fun. I'm going to hide my bookmarks so you guys don't know what I'm up to in life. I don't even know how to hide my bookmarks. Whatever. You guys know what I'm up to in life. Working. Shocker. All right. We're going to let's do a 4-round mock draft. Giants don't have a third. All right. So now mock draft machine is up. Someone said 1, go grab a fun drink. Let me go ahead and do that. Hey, whoa, Lucas, relax here. We're a family-friendly channel. All right. Be right back. All right. Shout out Matthew McConaughey. What do you guys want to see from me next week during the draft? Because you guys know I will be live for all 3 days of the NFL draft. What do you want to see? I'm actually planning on doing some giveaways. Oh, anybody excited for some giveaways? Lucas, it's fine. That chat was fine. It wasn't family friendly, but that's okay. We're cool with the jokes. We're all good lads here. All right, so let me give you guys a teaser, a sneak peek at one of the giveaways. Actually, you know what? Drop a 1 in the chat if you want to see what I'm giving away. I gotta make you guys work for it. But yeah, give me other ideas that you have. What do you want to see during our live stream Lollapalooza? It's a really weird way to describe it. Sorry about that. Oh, that looks delicious. Yeah, today we're doing the live mock, and we're selecting who the Giants pick, and we're going from there. We're starting the mock draft right now. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be stalling, but I kind of feel like I am. Surprise special guests? That would be really cool. Signed Fireside Giants merch. Would you guys want my signature? I actually did sign something for somebody at training camp last year. If you guys want my signature, do you guys want a signed sticker? My signature on the FSG sticker? Is that something you guys are interested in? All right, so we started the mock draft. We're multitasking now. A shirt with my face on it. Lucas, that's dedication right there. All right. Sonny Styles on the board at 5 is super tempting. You guys have the debate in the chat. Jeremiyah Love or Sonny Styles. I think that the Giants would go Sonny Styles ultimately, but I saw a buzz today that John Harbaugh loves Jeremiyah Love, so who knows? But we're going to kick this thing off. We're going to do a mock draft with a Dexter Lawrence trade, and I'm going to project a trade that I heard was living out there in the ether somewhere. Hint, hint, wink, wink. This is a realistic mock trade that the Giants could have available to them. So I'm going to be live here on the channel on Fireside Giants during the draft. I think Alex is actually joining me this year. And I think we're going to do a pre-show on Giants Collective. So I think we're going to do 6 o'clock Giants Collective, 7 o'clock, 6:30 to 7:30, and then 7:30 this stream is going to start. So this is the mock trade that I'm going to do. Dexter Lawrence to the Bills. Giants are going to have a late first-round pick. We're going to force this trade. So now we are picking 5th, 26th, 37th, 91st, and 105th. Not bad. We're going to go with Sonny Styles and see where we go. That might be happening, Greg. Hint, hint, wink, wink. That trade might happen. You guys know I know a thing or two. So, yeah, this is where things get interesting. Now we're picking 26. Which defensive tackle do we take? I would take Caden McDonald because he's a run defender. I really like Peter Woods, but Peter Woods, I think, has a lot of pass rushing upside. I think Caleb Banks has some injury troubles that I'm a little skeptical about. But Caden McDonald is just a stout run defender. And we need a stout run defender if we're trading away Dexter Lawrence. So at 26 overall, you can make the argument Caden McDonald is the best player on the board. So you're not even drafting for need because you traded Dex. You're actually going BPA and you're getting a good replacement. Not really a replacement for Dex. You can't replace Dex, but you are getting a starting defensive tackle. So I'm going Caden McDonald out of Ohio State. 2 Ohio State defenders to kick off the draft. Let's go. Shout out to the Buckeyes fans. And now here we are, top of the second round, number 37 overall. And Casey Concepcion is on the board. I think you guys know who I'm picking. But what do you guys think? Would you go Casey Concepcion? I honestly, let me say this. Best player on the board here might actually be one of those defensive tackles. Would you go defensive tackle back-to-back? Would you do it? Guard. We could go guard. Let's see. Chase Besantis is on the board. Here's my thing is I know that the Giants really like Chase Besantis. They also like Rutledge. I don't love the idea of reaching on one of those guards. I don't think that they're the best players on the board. But I know that the Giants have a need at guard, and I know that they want to take one. But I don't know, man. I feel like they're not the best players on the board. I wouldn't reach on one of these guards. If the Giants traded down from 37, which I do think is a possibility, they could trade down. Let's say they move back to like pick 46, right? Move back 9 spots, get an extra day 3 pick. I could see that. Then I would take one of those guards. But I think the argument here is either double dip at defensive tackle with Banks or Miller. You could take a wide receiver with Concepcion. You guys know I'm not a Chris Bell fan. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not. You could reach for one of these guards. Totally possible. And hey, there's probably going to be a run on guards at the back end of the first, so maybe they will be the best player available relative to the scarcity. Or you could take a cornerback, and I love D'Angelo Pons. He's very small and undersized, but so is Cordell Fly. Pons, people are saying he's going to be a slot because he's undersized. I disagree. He's an outside cornerback. Giants made the same mistake with Fly. They were like, he's small. We're going to put him in the slot. He sucked in the slot. Then they put him back outside, and he was a really good corner. I think D'Angelo Pons is going to be a really good outside corner at the NFL level, but that's my take on it. I think the pick that I'm going to make here, though, is Casey Concepcion because I'm trying to predict what I think the Giants are going to do. And the Giants have had a lot of visits with wide receivers, like a lot of them. They had the majority of their top 30 visits were with wide receivers. Concepcion was one of them. So I do think Concepcion is high up on their board. Obviously, they're visiting with Tyson again today. They've visited with Tate. They visited with Lemon. They love the wide receivers in this draft class, clearly. So I think they're going to go receiver early. I think Casey Concepcion is awesome. He can play inside. He can play outside. And we went defense back to back here. Let's go ahead and give Jackson Dart a young weapon. Because, guys, let me say this. Is wide receiver the biggest need on the Giants roster post-free agency? No. Darnell Mooney's a good player. Calvin Austin's a good player. You know, like they added to the room. That's a one-year deal for Mooney. That's a one-year deal for Calvin Austin. That is a one-year deal basically for Darius Slayton because they're probably going to cut him after this year. So the only wide receiver that they have a long-term under contract is Malik Neighbors. They need another receiver on a rookie contract. Casey Concepcion is my pick. There's an argument here for Denzel Boston. There's a really strong argument for Denzel Boston, actually. I don't even know why I didn't mention him. I'm going to go Concepcion. Why not? Well, what a freaking haul with your first 3 picks, though. Seriously? Seriously, that's a haul, man. Look at that. Oh, yeah. All right, so then we're in terrible pick, sorry. Casey got too many drops. He does have some drops. He's a little size limited, but I do think he's going to be a really nice slot receiver and like the perfect Wan'Dale Robinson replacement. Don't sleep on Casey Concepcion. All right, so here we are in round 3 now because we picked up a 3rd-round pick from the Buffalo Bills. And, you know, I don't hate taking one of these centers. I like John Michael Schmitz's development. Like, I think he's gotten better. But I still question long-term how good he's going to be. And he's had a lot of injuries. Yeah, Denzel Boston's a really good player. I did not know he had a routine and preventative knee scope. Interesting. I don't like that. Okay, I probably would have taken Denzel Boston if I knew that. Too late with the info, Lucas. Where were you? No, I appreciate though. That's good info. I didn't know that. Yeah, Casey is dangerous though. I really like him. I am leaning towards going center here. All good, Lucas. I could see the Giants taking a center. I could see them going. Who else is on the board? I like Malik Muhammad, but I think he'll be there with our next pick at 105. I heard that the Giants really like Stribling out of Ole Miss. 6'2" outside receiver. Obviously, you know, our QB is from Ole Miss. I think cornerback is too great of a need here to pass up, but I'm going to wait one more round. I'm actually going to go Jake Slaughter. Go Gators. And then I'm going to take the best corner on the board, and boom. That's my my mock draft. This is our first mock draft that we've done with the Dexter Lawrence trade. I'm curious what you guys think. PFF gives us an A-. Not too bad. Not too bad. You guys drop your grade. A+, B+, F. Drop it in the chat right now. And since we've got through this first mock draft, let me give you guys a sneak peek at one of the giveaways that we are doing next week during the NFL Draft live streams. This is one of the items we'll be giving away. Let me pull it up full screen so you guys can see it. This is a plaque of the New York Giants 1990 roster and Super Bowl team. It's got all of the players listed. It's got all the players and the coaches in the photo. And I think it's really cool. It's vintage. It's from the 90s, so it's older than I am. Cool enough as that is. Got a couple scratches on it. Sorry about that, but it's the best we can do. So this will be given away next week. If you want it, show up and show out. I see a lot of A's, some B's. You didn't like my decision to pass on a guard. I get it. But also those two guards, Rutledge and what's his name? What's the other guard's name? Basantis. Aren't they both left guards? So I don't even, you know. But I would like to see them get a guard. I agree. I just don't love the guards at round 2. I don't love it. What do you guys think of the giveaway item, though? Cool? I think it's pretty cool. I've just run out of space. But I got to hang that one from NYGFL for sure. But after that, running out of space. All right, let's do another mock. Let's do a full 7-round mock draft now. Let's see what the Giants could do on day 3. So this time around, Sonny Styles is off the board. You know what? Let's actually do this with this mock draft. Let's trade down. Let's imagine Sonny Styles is who they want. He's not on the board. And if you guys didn't see the report today from Jordan Renan, ideally the Giants prefer to trade down a couple spots and take Caleb Downs. So let's try doing that. Let's see if we can move back. None of the teams in the top 10 are interested. That's so annoying because now it's not going to. Let's just make a fair value offer. Let's say we get a 3rd-round pick to move back 5 spots. Boom. And Caleb Downs is there. He's the best player on the board at 10 overall. I'm sorry, Daniel. I know you want Mansour Delane. I love Mansour Delane too, but we're going to go the Caleb Downs route. Also, Lucas dropped a super chat, so thank you so much, Lucas, saying, "You the man. Bang out a bunch of these. Cool giveaway. Maui Noah, defensive tackle. Jacob Rodriguez." You know, not a lot of fans seem to be on the wave of going for the guard or the tackle, however you view Maui Noah. But there are some who do think that's the right move. And I can't disagree with the notion of just loading up in the trenches, you know? So defensive tackle, after you trade Dex, take one. And then Jacob Rodriguez. I really like Jacob Rodriguez. Really good linebacker prospect that'll be available on day 2. Thanks for the super chat, Lucas. I like your mock draft. It's pretty good. All right, so we're going to take Caleb Downs here. Do you guys want me to trade Dex in this one? Yeah, you know what? Let's trade Dex. Let's just trade Dex in all of them. I think he's going to get traded. So the Bears, that's a team that I always see offering trades or in mock trades with the Giants. Let's imagine that they give us this big haul for Dex. Bang. Let's draft Caleb Downs and let's pick 25th. All right. Should we trade Thibodeau for a 3rd as well? Let's go trade crazy in this one. Why not? Did I make the right trade? Yeah, I did, right? Did I even put Dex in there? I don't remember. Let's go crazy and let's trade everybody. Now let's trade Dex as well, or Kayvon as well. Why not? Let's have some fun. Okay, so I didn't even trade Dex. I just had them give me picks. We kept Dex and we got their 1st-round pick. That's awesome. Who would want Kayvon, though? Who's trading for Kayvon? Like, I don't know a team that's trading for Kayvon, honestly. The Ravens, though. I could low-key see the Ravens doing it. Let's take pick 115. Let's say that the Giants just get. Let's just. Says that they would take pick 80. All right, screw it. Let's do 80. All right, boom. Now look at all the picks we have. Sheesh. Now we can address some needs. What's the most I think we can get for Kayvon? I think an early 4th. I don't think the Giants are going to take an early 4th, though. I think they're just going to keep him. I think if they could have gotten a 3rd, they would have by now. And he would have been playing on a different roster. Yeah, I still think McDonald is the best player on the board here for the Giants, but I want to go a different route just because we already took McDonald. So we'll take somebody else, you know, for fun. Let's just, let's see. Damn, we almost had Vega Ioane. That would have been sick. I think Darius Alexander will do well, but I don't think he's a run defender, guys. I think he's too undersized. I know that the Giants did meet with Max. I don't know how to say his last name. Let's just call him Arizona State Max. I know that they did meet with him. So I actually think that they might have an interest in drafting him. They might plug him in at guard and then eventually move him to tackle. Could that be an option? How about we try a different one here and take a offensive lineman maybe. Or maybe a different defensive lineman. I like Peter Woods. Let's go Peter Woods in this one. And we'll go guard this time around. Chase Besantis. Rodriguez not on the board. I was hoping Rodriguez would be there. Where'd he go? Oh, he went 41. We had no chance of getting him. I actually know the guy who trains Davison Igbinosun, I think is how you say his name. Should we get him on the pod? You guys want to see me interview Davison Igbinosun? I could totally get him on. E. Hanachor. Thank you for that, J-Dub. Chris Johnson? Where's Chris Johnson? Is Chris Johnson on the board? Look, Chris Johnson went. Am I blind? Yo, Elijah Surratt is a damn good player. Have you guys watched Elijah Surratt play? I'm a big fan. Big fan. I'm actually going to take him. Same argument. Giants need a receiver. Maybe we didn't want to take one as early as we did in the last mock draft. Okay, so we take one at 60 instead. Elijah Surratt is a damn good football player. I like him better than Skylar Bell and Antonio Williams. I'm going Elijah Surratt here. I do like Cooper better, but I like Elijah Surratt a little bit better. All right, I like Cooper better, but I like Elijah Surratt as well. All right, what's next? Well, we were already talking about taking Davison Igbinosun, so we might as well, right? Might as well take him. He's still on the board here as we're picking 72nd. We got all these picks. Let's do it. Anthony Hill Jr. is on the board in the 3rd round. I'm taking him. We don't even have to debate that. Dante Corleone. In my house? Where my wife sleeps? Godfather 2 reference, anybody? All right, let's take the Corleone. Now we got Caleb Downs, Peter Woods, Chase Besantis, Elijah Surratt, Davison Igbinosun, Anthony Hill, Dante Corleone. This is like a freaking haul. This is absurd. Isn't this guy like a tree? Isn't he super tall? No, he's not. I'm thinking of somebody else. At least we got some mass on this defensive line now. You know, Peter Woods, he's 310. Corleone's like 330, isn't he? Yeah, he's a big dude. I'm robbing the bank. I agree, Lucas. All right, so in case you weren't here, we got an extra first by trading Dex, got an extra second by trading Dex. We got an extra third by trading Kayvon. We went trade crazy in this particular mock draft, but we're doing several of them. So we're just going through all of the different possibilities. So we got hella picks right now, and we are making the most of them. This is a good-looking mock draft to me. I don't even know what the biggest need is that we haven't addressed yet. I mean, what? I think maybe you just take a developmental tackle, right? Tackle / guard. Let's go J.C. Davis. Giants had him on a 30 visit, as Aaron just mentioned. Deep on day 3, do you just throw darts at the trenches, right? Like just take a Pat Coogan out of Indiana. Why not? Take a fullback. Why not, right? Got to take Lorenzo Styles Jr., you know? Just an elite athlete. I don't mind taking an elite athlete in the 6th round. And then why not finish it off with a fullback? No, finish it off with a kicker. Hold on. Where's my Gator? Give me Trey Smack. Good kicker. All right, what do you guys think of this one? Holy crap, there's a lot of picks here. Yeah, I forgot to put that Dexter Lawrence went to the Bears. They just gave us picks. I can't even fit all of the picks. All right, yes, I can. Yo, what do you guys think of this one? Drop the grades. B-, not bad. I'll take a B-. I got by college with a B-. Not bad. I'd take it. If this is what happened with the Giants, they traded Dex, they traded Kayvon, and they went this crazy, I'm happy with it, man. I'd be cool with it. Where did the 2 third-rounders come from? We got one from trading. Well, the Giants have. Yeah, where did the second third-rounder come from? Oh, we traded down. We traded down. That's right. We traded down from 5 to 10, so we got a third-rounder from the Bengals. We traded Dexter and got an extra first and a second, and we traded Kayvon and got a third. This is not the most realistic mock draft. I'll admit that. But it was a fun one. That's a lot of picks I just made. Man, I could be the GM of the Giants. Don't you guys think? Yo, everybody comment Anthony Rivardo for GM. Let's start the campaign. It's like running for public office. Thank you, Dr. Pancake. I love your name, by the way. Yeah, we probably could have gotten more for trading down 5 spots. All right, let's do another one. Let's trade Dex again. But this time we're going to do something interesting with the Dex trade. Oh, this is like my worst nightmare right here. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Jeremiyah Love go off the board. This is like what I'm most afraid of. Let's talk about this, actually, before we do this mock draft. What do you guys do in this situation? Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Jeremiyah Love off the board. What do you do? My worst nightmare. I want to get a Sonny Styles or a Love and have the opportunity. I want Reese on the board because I think somebody would trade up for him. Maybe somebody trades up for David Bailey, though, probably. I think in this situation, you have to trade down. I mean, you could take Caleb Downs here and I'll be happy with it. I'll be cool. You could take Delane. I'll be happy with it. I'll be cool. You can take Tate. But I really think you got to look to trade down in this situation. Somebody will trade up for David Bailey. Yeah, trade and let somebody get Bailey. I could see the Saints, Aaron. I could see the Saints moving up for Bailey. Why don't we simulate that? Let's do the Saints. What would the Saints give up to move 3 spots for David Bailey? What do we think? Where are they? There they are. Easily their second round pick, maybe a second rounder next year. I could see that. First and third. Maybe a third this year. Probably not the second next year. It is only 3 spots. Yeah, probably just a third. Why don't we have fun and call it a second? Let's do that. Let's have fun and call it a second. Now we moved back 3 spots. Let's resume the draft. And look at that. The 2 edge rushers go. And we can take Caleb Downs or Mansour Delane. That tempts me to just move back again. Saints more like the Aints. I like that. I can't stand the Saints. That's actually, outside of the NFC East, that might be my most hated team that's not in the NFC East. All right, so then you got Downs and Delane on the board. In this mock draft, we're going to go with Delane. We went with Downs in the last one. So yes, Daniel, we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and take Delane. And I'm sorry I forgot to trade Dex. So we're just going to go through this one quickly. With Dex, let's imagine fantasy world. Dexter Lawrence signed an extension. And this is what I would do with these picks. Oh, yeah. Dante Corleone. Don Vito Corleone. I really don't like the players available in round 4. This is a stinky draft after 3 rounds. Being honest. What do you guys think of this one? Grade it. Let me get you grades. PFF gave me a B. B is in boo. Yeah, Lane at 105 is a good pick. I don't know why I got a C- for that. What does PFF know? C+ with upside? I'm not as excited about this one either. I don't hate it, but I also didn't mean to go cornerback twice. My bad on that one. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea for the Giants anyway. Paulson and Debo's MIA, and Deontay Banks is terrible. And Greg Newsome, I mean, I like the 1-year prove-it deal, but he was also terrible last year. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, no linebacker, no DT. Should have taken one of those. All right, let's do another one. Do one with the Giants getting pick 18 and 82 for Dex. Okay, let's do it. I like that idea. Who's got 18? The Vikings. 18 and 82 for Sir Lawrence II. Roger that, Daniel. Roger that. I know you know, so roger that. All right. Let me get your guys' take on Arvell Reese. Is there a world where you would take him? Would you consider an Arvell Reese here? I mean, is that possible to you guys? I think Arvell Reese is a really good player. I just don't think – I think he views himself as an edge, and I don't think that the Giants want an edge. But what if they view him as an inside linebacker? I mean, could you just draft him to be kind of like an edge inside linebacker hybrid? Maybe. Especially knowing that Brian Burns is going to demand a new contract next year. Yeah, we would get trade calls here for sure. We already traded down in the last 2 mocks, so I kind of want to see. Let's try this. We're going to do something different here. We're going to take Francis Maui-Noah. I know you guys don't love that. Most of you. Some of you might. Lucas does. We're going to take Francis Maui-Noah, and he's going to start at right guard for us from day one. And in 2 years, when Jermaine Illuminor's contract is likely going to be released, we're going to put him at right tackle. Let's take Francis Maui-Noah and build through the trenches. And we're picking here at 18. And guys, who's on the board but Jordan Tyson, who the Giants have now met with? Have they met with him 4 times now? They met with him at the Combine. They met with him at his pro day. They met with him on a top 30, and they're meeting him privately again today. 4 times they've met Jordan Tyson. So if I'm predicting here, I mean, I think Mekhi Lemon is probably the player that I would take between them, but we're going to predict a Jordan Tyson pick here. That's kind of an insane 2-player haul. And then look at that. Pick 37. Peter Woods. Sure, why not? Look at that haul. Oh my goodness, we are cooking. Guys, we are cooking. We're cooking. They did meet with Mekhi Lemon. Yeah, Lucas, he did play with Scat. NYGFL, we can do one with the auto pick. I don't really know how to do that, but we can try it. Try and figure it out. All right, we don't have a cornerback yet. Georgia, cornerback, not a bad look. Let's take him. You like Tyson over Lemon, Daniel? Guys, how good of a GM am I? 1 to 10. Would you rather have me or Joe Schoen? I need to know. Please. All right, so we got a guard, we got a receiver, we got a defensive tackle, and we got a corner. What else do we need? A linebacker. All right, let's take a linebacker. When can I start? I'll start right now. Let me talk to Dex. Nah, actually, if I wanted to talk to Dex, I could talk to Dex, but I don't. I don't want him to hate me. I suck as a GM, but you take me over Shane. Fair enough. See, this is so real, J-Dubs. You don't want me as the GM because you want me to react to the Giants instead. That's awesome. You'd rather have Alex. Interesting. Okay, now I need everybody in the chat. Would you rather have me or Alex as the GM? Drop it. Drop it right now. I need to know. I need to know. Our Green Lantern here says that he'd rather me over Shane, even if I were in a coma. That's pretty cool. All right, we'll do a new mock draft. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. All right, let's go with this. Hey, the Ravens were willing to trade their first round pick for an elite defender, weren't they? They were willing to give up 14 for Max Crosby, weren't they? Until they didn't like his knee. Dex doesn't have a knee problem. Let's try this. I'm cooking again, guys. I'm absolutely cooking. Well, we're only doing 4-round mock drafts, so that's why. Otherwise, I probably would be. My bad, guys. If you can't tell, I'm listening to music. Oh, I didn't mean to take 2 linebackers. Distracted. Can't be listening to music anymore. All right, you guys tell me what you think about this one. Instead of a linebacker, imagine I took a corner. Could you imagine if the Giants had Sonny Styles and Vega Ioane? Giants fans would be out of their minds about it. I mean, we would be doing headstands on Thursday night's NFL draft live stream, which you guys need to tune into. You better. Matter of fact, I should schedule that like now. Let everybody know it's coming. Yeah, they did get Henderson. But hey, maybe they want another elite defender. I can't believe that whole thing with Max Crosby, man. That was crazy. I want to do one of these mocks where we get what's his name? Jeremiyah Love. Let's see. Let's go with the consensus big board. Maybe that'll do it. No, doesn't do it. This time we're taking Carnell. I don't really like the Ravens' new uniforms, Trenton. I don't love it. They didn't change a lot, and I don't like the collar things. The feathers. The collar feathers, the collar things. I don't know why I said that. I do like the Titans' new uniforms for sure. Ugh, what do you guys think of this one? That's not my favorite mock. So let me tell you guys what uniforms I think the Giants should wear. Let me pull this up if I can find them. Find them in my camera roll and send them to myself. Give me 1 second. I know I posted them a while ago. I actually do like the Commanders' new uniforms. I think they're a massive upgrade for the Commanders. The Commanders might have had the ugliest uniforms in football before they just made this change, honestly. I mean, that was hideous what they were wearing. That navy with the gradient. Oh my goodness. All right, hold up. I think I found them. Let me find my uniforms, send them up. You guys will like these, I promise. I've got too many pictures of my girlfriend on my phone. I can't find what I need to find. Real Lover Boy, CLB. All right, here we go. I found them. Send them to myself, and then I'll pull them up on the chat. All right, so this is what I want the Giants' home uniform to look like. Hold on, give me 1 second to pull it up. That's what I want. So essentially, the legacy uniforms, the throwbacks, but I want the helmet to be royal blue like it is now. I'm not a fan of the navy. I know a lot of you like the navy. I don't, personally. Trenton, I might mess around and do that. We'll see. So, yeah, I hear you, Dr. Pancake. I care more about wins. Did they have the royal blue and from 85 to 99? I think they had navy. But yeah, this is my ideal uniform for the Giants from home. So it's the throwback 80s jerseys, the legacy uniforms that they currently wear, but with an updated modern helmet. You know, it's the white face mask. I hate the gray face mask. I think the gray face mask is so boring and it like blends. It doesn't pop, but the white pops. Like, and these are the helmets that the Giants used to wear with the color rush. Remember when they first introduced the color rush all white throwback uniforms? They went to the old school helmet, but they didn't have the navy because you weren't allowed to back then. You could only have one helmet. So they had the current Giants blue helmet, but with the white Giants logo and the white face mask. It's so clean. This is my ideal Giants home uniform. I love this uniform. So I want them to go back to that. And I think there's a good chance that they could because all of these teams that are changing their uniforms, the Lions did it last year, the Jets did it a couple years ago, the Commanders just did it. They're all going, the Titans just did it. They're taking throwback uniforms and updating them for the modern day. That's what they're doing. And I really think the Giants should do that because the uniforms that they've been wearing now for like, I don't know, they've been wearing them like 25 years now. They're stale. I've had them my whole life. I want a little bit of change. We need to turn a new leaf as a team, a new era. And I think having some new drip helps with that. So give me a new updated, modern, classic throwback uniform. This is ideal to me. I absolutely love these. They're throwback, uniforms, but they're new as well. And I think that's perfect. So yeah, the gray pants, I got sick of those too, but I low-key think they should bring them back sometimes. I think the gray pants, they like don't use them ever now. I think they should wear them every now and then. All right, so for the away uniforms, pull that up. I'm really excited for you guys to see the alternate uniforms that I mocked up. That's what I'm more excited about. But let me go away uniforms. So it's the color rush uniforms, the white throwbacks, but with the royal blue helmet instead of the navy. Shout out Jameis Winston, man. Bro's got too much drip. These have some Bills vibes. I get that, but I think they're different enough from the Bills. And hey, the Giants had this uniform before the Bills did. They did. But you update that helmet. The Bills wear that white helmet. I don't like white helmets. That's actually, I don't know if that's a hot take, whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Bills, whether it's whoever. I don't like white helmets. Even the Chargers, they still wear white, right? I don't love white helmets, and I love the Chargers uniforms. They're the only ones that rock it properly, though. But I like royal blue helmet with a white face mask and the white long Giants logo, red stripe down the middle, and the color rush uniforms. I get it, little Billsy, but I don't know. Yeah, the Bills did steal it from the Giants. Aren't they lame for that? I don't know. I love this uniform, though. But you guys get ready because I'm about to drop my alternate uniform that I mocked up. This is going to be divisive. I know some of you are going to hate this. Some of you are going to love this. Hear me out. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Hear me out on the alternate uniform. Hear me out. What do we think? So it's the legacy uniform, but flipped. Same helmet. I guess you could go red helmet with a blue stripe. I'd be interested. I'd hear it out. But this is the legacy uniform, how it's blue with white letters and red stripe around. But this is opposite, red with white letters and blue stripes around. It's not completely like the Pats, though. And I think you guys are overlooking color shading, right? Because it's a different shade of blue for the Giants, a different shade of red for the Giants than it is for the Pats, I think. L. I'm getting L's. You guys don't seem to like these. I knew they were going to be divisive. Some people love them. Some people hate them. That's just how it is. But yeah, I love the blue helmets. They're big blue. Let me look at the Patriots red uniforms. Nah, the Giants red jerseys look so much different than that. The ones that I mocked up here. They're so different. Don't let me cook. Let me cook, bro. I'm cooking. These are better than the red jerseys that the Giants have where they're just red and white. Like, put some blue in there. Like, I don't like that the Giants home uniforms right now are blue and white with no red. I don't like that their away uniforms are white and red with no blue. And I don't like that their alternate uniforms used to be red and white with no blue. All three of the colors should be represented at all times, in my opinion. That's just my take. My email you can find, it's Anthony Rivardo at empiresportsmedia.com, Lucas. All business inquiries can go there. Commanders do not have the best uniforms. They're nice, but they're not the best uniforms. Ooh, new 52-week high for my stock. All right. I don't know. I like them. Those are the uniforms I like. If you don't like them, I'm sorry, but I like them. I would like to see the red helmet too. I know somebody just posted. Let me find this tweet. I'll pull it up. I know Malik Neighbors just reposted them. So at Dual Carter _ on Twitter posted these. And, well, I guess there's no helmets, but his are pretty similar to mine. What do you guys think of this red uniform? Again, I'm not crazy about it because I want blue on the jersey. Like, I don't like just red and white, personally. That's pretty much the red pants I'm also not crazy about. I don't like one solid block of color, personally. You guys like this? I don't hate it. I mean, if that was the jersey, I wouldn't be upset. That's for sure. I don't hate it, but I think it's too much red. I like the socks though. I think the socks are cool, and I like that there's blue on the pants. But I think there's got to be some blue on the jersey, man. Outline that number with blue. But yeah, these are. I don't know why these aren't the home and away uniforms for the Giants. It's absurd to me. They should be. That jersey with white pants would be tough. I could see. Yeah, I'd probably like that. You want me to play Madden, Lucas? Does everybody else want me to play Madden? I don't have my controller in here. I usually have to set that up beforehand. I don't know if I could. Jimmy likes the all red color rush. Yo, sell your Dexter Lawrence stock. Yeah, get rid of the gray face masks. I agree. I hate the gray face masks. I can't stand the gray face masks. Does anybody have a red helmet rendering? That would be cool to see. All right, so Lucas just shared. Lucas in the chat right now did just email me and shared some jersey renderings. Let's pull these up. What do we think of these? The red helmet's interesting. This this rendered guy though is like the most stout man I've ever seen. He's short, compact, and built like crazy. I don't think it's a real person, Donkey Eater, which is also a crazy name. I can't believe I just said Donkey Eater out loud. Echo, yes, that is a Project Hail Mary poster. Project Hail Mary is my favorite novel that I've ever read. And the movie is definitely a top 10 movie I've ever seen. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And my local theater was giving the posters away, so I framed it. So I love the movie that much. He does kind of look like Saquon, doesn't he? These are from Lucas. Lucas says that that's Saquon's roided brother. I don't hate these. I think a white face mask, though, instead of a red face mask. White face mask would make them pop a little bit more for me. Oh, Daniel, you should go. You should go. Got to see it, man. It's so good. He does look like Saquon and Derrick Henry, Nato. This guy's a crazy build. Yeah, I think a white face mask with these, Lucas, that'd be cool. And if we could see what the stripes are on the pants, because if there's like white and blue stripes on the pants, I might like them even more. Let's look at the other uniforms that he sent. Lucas shared 2 uniforms. Nato said the black scat. That's clowning. That's so funny. The all blue. See, again, white face mask for me, not the blue face mask. Although I kind of like a blue out. Teams have the white out, the black out. We could go blue out. The Giants are big blue. Why have they never had like a big blue out, That is true. People don't remember this. The Giants were big red before they were big blue. Canonically speaking, the New York Giants uniform primarily was red when the team started out, and then it became blue. They were actually big red, and then they became big blue. This is pretty nice, though. If we're going blue on blue, I like the look of this, Lucas. And Lucas, you're a goat for sending these over. These are really cool. Appreciate you sharing. Yeah, these look completely different, Daniel. Totally different than any team. These are very uniquely New York Giants. This is the big blue uniform. I like the blue out, man. That's cool. Tough. Everyone seems to like these in the chat. Hell yeah. When I become GM, Lucas, maybe I'll hire you to redo the uniforms. I got you, Papa. Yeah, let me call John Mara, get Lucas on the team. Once I become GM, I'll offer Lucas a little uniform design role for sure. White face masks. But the idea of the blue out's cool, though. Giants red helmets. Let me Google that, see what I find. All right, this is a cool one. Hold on. Somebody posted this on Instagram. This is really not a cool one, but it's... well, I don't know. You guys let me know. I found this one on Instagram. What do you guys think of this one? It's like a red, white, and blue helmet. Cursed picture. Jones and Barkley. Ugh. Oh, I liked it. Ted Hyman images. I don't know. You guys like that? The uniforms are the same ones that I posted, though. The red with the white and the blue stripes. That's the uniforms that I had. Yeah, I don't love the tri-colored helmet is not my style, man. I'm not crazy about the tri-colored helmet. Let's see. What else does Google show me? Let's Google another Giants red helmet. They keep showing me the legacy helmets. All right, but do you guys, or not the legacy, the Century Red. Do you guys like the Century Red helmets? Not the uniforms. I know you guys don't like the uniforms. But let me get your guys' take on the Century Red helmets, though, because I don't hate the helmets. They're kind of cool. They look like the Wolverines, though, Michigan. Thank you, Dwayne. You guys don't like the Century Red helmets? Yeah, they really do look like the Michigan Wolverines, don't they? Yeah, honestly, I like the red practice jersey that our favorite player Darius Slayton is wearing right here instead of the red jerseys that they actually wore. Our favorite player Darius Slayton. Let's see, more red helmets that appear online when I look. How about this one that Lawrence Taylor signed? Shout out Lawrence Taylor. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that helmet? Massive shout out to our guy J Dubs and a big congratulations because he got a promotion this week. Shout out to you, J Dub. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for spreading the love. And the love goes right back to you. Congrats, my friend. NATO, that's one nickname you can have for Lawrence Taylor, but there are many of them. You can have some very interesting nicknames for Lawrence Taylor if you so choose. But I like to go with the nickname The GOAT. Lucas with the super chat as well. Thank you, Lucas, saying best community on here. You build it. Thank you so much. You can replace Alex. Got the setup already. Don't need money. And I promise 50,000 subs in 6 months. I mean, hey, man, If you can get us 50,000 subs in 6 months, Alex will pay you for that. So, I appreciate it, Lucas. And we got a back-to-back supers. Thank you, Lucas. Congrats, homie. I just hit my sales target today. 2.5 million in sales. Cha-ching. Damn. Well done, my friend. Congrats. Everybody's up right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Let's go. We all up. We live. Nato, low-key, I think LT's worse. Michael Irvin's crazy, though. Michael Irvin he's got too much energy. A suspicious amount of energy, I would say. Most certainly. What song do you guys think I'm listening to right now? Drop your guesses. What do you think? Yeah, shout out Lucas, shout out J-Dub, and shout out everybody else in the chat that's up right now. I'm up right now. Life is precious. All right, let's see. More red jerseys online, or red helmets, rather. There's really not many. All right. Oh, my gosh. These helmets. I can tell you, J-Dub, I am not listening to Kadarius Toney. Happy, humble, hungry. I can tell you I am not listening to that song. You guys are insane. All right, guys, rank these helmets on a scale of 1 to 10. These helmets are insane. Who comes up with this? White helmets. I'd like to see some white helmets. That'd be cool. I'll be right back, guys. I got to grab something on my fridge real quick. Yeah, listen, I'm a patriot. I'm as much of a patriot myself as the next guy, but I'm not rocking with these helmets. There was way too much going on there. I love my country, but I do not love these helmets. Okay, my hand got a little high there. You guys didn't see that. Happy Friday, folks. All right, what about these, though? The Pinterest helmets are crazy. Oh, NYGFL, you sent me a helmet too, or a uniform too? Which inbox? Check my email. I'll keep an eye out. Where do you guys stand on Odell? Do you guys want Odell on the Giants? Do you guys want Odell on the Giants? Did you guys hear what our guy LPG said on our interview that I did the other day? LPG said he spoke to Odell Beckham Jr., and Odell Beckham Jr. wants to join the Giants. That's what he said. Abdul Carter training looks solid right now, man. He looks ready to go. I agree. I think OBJ is like a wide receiver coach on the field, you know? He's a wide receiver coach who can catch better than several of the receivers on the roster. I mean, let's look at this Giants roster. Do I really want to look at that? Do I really want to make myself miserable? All right. I'm going to say a player's name. I'm going to say a receiver's name, and you guys tell me, is Odell putting up more yards than this receiver or not if he's on the roster right now? Okay, ready? Bo Collins. Odell's putting up more yards than Bo Collins. Come on. Dalen Cambry. Dalen Cambry. The answer is Odell. Ryan Miller. I don't even know who that is. Who's Ryan Miller? When did the Giants sign a Ryan Miller? Who's Courtney Jackson? Courtney Jackson and Ryan Miller. I don't even know who those guys are, to be honest. And I know a lot about this team. That's all I do is talk about this team. Jalen Hyatt. I was saving Jalen Hyatt. Come on, Jalen Hyatt. You guys are telling me that Jalen Hyatt's putting up more yards than OBJ? Hell no. I don't see anybody saying Jalen Hyatt in the chat. So, Courtney Jackson's tough. I'll watch him. Hyatt's not putting up more yards than Odell. No way. All right, what about Hyatt's our number one? Yo, John Stewart, I love you. I appreciate what you do with the Green Lantern Corps. You're going to get a chat ban if you say something like that again. Just kidding. Gunnar Olszewski. This one I think is actually no. What is Gunnar Olszewski's career high in yards? I'm so curious here. Gunnar I can never spell this guy's name. Thank God for autocorrect. Gunnar Olszewski's career high in yards is 145 last year. Yeah, Odell is clearing that. Odell can get more yards than Gunnar Olszewski in a season. There's no way you're going to debate me on that one. And then last one, I think this could be debatable. Isaiah Hodgins. Hodgins or Odell? Who puts up more yards in a season on this current roster? I think that one's kind of debatable. I mean, to be fair, last time Odell played with the Dolphins, what do you have, 9 yards? Little stinky. I don't know. I think I pick Hodgins, though. Hodgins over Odell at this point. But listen, if you go by the current roster, Neighbors WR1, Mooney WR2, Slayton WR3, Calvin Austin WR4, Hodgins WR5. If they're only carrying 5 receivers, that's cool. WR6 then comes down to Olszewski or Odell in that point, and they're probably carrying 6 receivers. And Gunnar Olszewski might get the pick because of his kick return ability, but I'd go Odell for the vibes. All right, this is crazy, though. Savant, I've been answering I've been chatting with everybody in the chat. I just didn't see. There's a lot of chats, man. If it's a good question I answered, I do. We're having conversations in the chat. I've said NATO's name like 1,500 times today. Let me find your chat. I'll answer your chat. I don't only answer if it's money, man. I talk to everybody in the chat. Do you think Dexter's a top 5 player on defense in the NFL? Top 5 total player on defense in the NFL? No. Top 5 player at his position? Absolutely. Who do you guys think? Gunnar Olszewski, I think, probably provides more value to the team than Odell would, right? Just because he's a kick returner. Alan, yes, I do think that the Raiders situation. NATO, chill. That was me saying my love for you, NATO, not the other way. Do you think the Raiders' Max Crosby situation is worse than Dex? I do, because they already said to Max Crosby, we don't need you, we don't want you, but now we're stuck with you. That sucks. That sucks for both of them. Yeah, I agree with this. Can we all start campaigning for this on Twitter? Can we be real loud on Twitter to pay me and forget about Dex? Pay me. not Dex. I'll take 1% of Dex's demanded salary to do not even close to what he's capable of doing, but I'll just take it. I'll just take it. Why not? Oh, yeah, true, NATO. True. Very true. That is kind of how I was. Yeah, Dart won't be going anywhere. Dart, so I agree with this comment, though, because it's not like you're saying Dart needs help or he's out of here also. Dart needs help or he's out of here also because if he doesn't get help, he's not going to play well, and the Giants are going to become impatient. They're going to move on. Not because he'll want out, but we've played this game before. We've seen this movie before where the Giants don't give the QB help. The QB growth gets stunted, and they move on. NYGFL, let me check my inbox. Oh, damn, Lucas, I didn't even see that you updated the uniform for me. You sent me like a second one. That's cool. You updated it with the white face mask. That's really cool. And the stripes. All right, let's pull these up again if you guys want. Let me see this uniform updated. These are tough. I like the white face mask better. You guys let me know what you think. They're saying Jordan Tyson showed up healthy and explosive. Interesting. It's not even letting me share it now. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. There we go. I like the white face mask, the red stripe on the pants. Those are huge. NYGFL, my email is anthonyrivardo@empiresportsmedia.com. He'll be a steal for somebody if he stays healthy, though. Big question, big if. Also, there's so much light on my face. My camera, so every time my power goes out, my camera resets its settings and it drives me insane because I look like Voldemort with all the light in my face. I don't think you're winning many games this season, John Stewart. What do you guys think about Dart's ability or inability to protect himself? I think it's overblown personally. I think he's fine, man. Let him keep running into the contact. He's a big dude. People talk about him like he's Kyler Murray. A lot bigger than him. He's the same size as Mahomes. When Mahomes runs somebody over, the whole world is like, holy crap, Mahomes, don't do it to him, Patrick. When Dart runs somebody over, they're like, this kid's never going to last in the NFL. It's over. Giants fans, it's over. My bad, guys. I'm trying to fix my camera. It's the brightness needs to go down. There we go. There we go. All right, that's better. Go with that for now. Now I don't look like Voldemort. Your pro comp for Tate is Neighbors? Oh, I don't. My pro comp for Tate is Devontae Smith or Chris Olave. Me personally. Look how much better I look now that I'm not, smashed with freaking white light in my face. And my camera just changed it again. I look like crap again. I can't win. Guys, who's your biggest sleeper in this draft class? Drop it. You know what? Here's a good question. Who's the one player you think is going to be a bust out of this draft class? And why is it Arvell Reese? Stop. I did not say that. Oh, these are tough. NYGFL. These are really cool. Where'd you find these? Did you make these? These are really cool. Styles is the bust vaporizer? I don't know, man. I'm a big Styles fan. Wow, a few of you think Styles is the bust. Damn. Or are you guys saying Styles is the Hall of Famer? I asked those questions at the same time. That was not good of me. My bad. These are cool. NYGFL just sent these to me. I like these a lot. They're kind of a blend between the old and the new. My only problem, though, is those the away uniforms. They're too similar to the ones that the Giants have had for a while, you know. And I need I need some blue on the jerseys. What I'm saying, those are the same jerseys we got now, and I don't like that it's all white and red. I need some blue on there. Yeah. And also, I'm not a big fan of the gray face masks, but the alternate uniforms are interesting. I like the navy red. That's kind of cool. All navy and red is cool. Jacoby Lane reminds you of T. Higgins. You guys hear that? What the hell was that? Somebody fell. Bust is Reese, sleeper is Colton Hood. Yeah, why are they always Saquon? That's funny. Now these are cool though, NYGFL. I really like the navy. Yeah, those are cool. I totally messed up the camera even worse than it was now. I gotta fix this. Once the stream ends, I'll fix it. I don't want to keep being insufferable for you guys. Guys, 2-hour live stream on a Friday before the draft. This might be the longest live stream that I've had since the NFL draft last year. That's how you know we're excited for the 2026 NFL draft. We're hyped. We are hyped. This is crazy, bro. Scat has a body like a plumber is crazy. Scat's pretty built, man. He's pretty ripped. When I think of plumber, I think of a different build than the one you're suggesting. The media does hate New York. The media hates the Giants. Let me find the picture. There's a picture of Scat working. Yeah, this is a crazy image for the Giants to post. Peep this. This is a crazy image. Why did the Giants post this as number 4 out of 97 on this freaking... This is crazy. Could you imagine your John Michael Schmitz just working out, doing some rows in the gym, and they're like, yo, Cheese, psh, take this nasty picture of you? Andrew Thomas looks tough. Scat, bro. Scat looks like he's staring into my soul. He looks like he hates me. Scat looks like he hates me. Scat, don't hate me, bro. I don't know, dude. Looks pretty cut there. Who is this? Pat Ricard. Pancake Pat. Pancake Pat. Let's go. Brian Hudson. Wait, who do I look like? NATO, who do I look like? You're saying I look like Pat Ricard? Where did that picture go? Wait, who do I look like, NATO? Dr. Pancake. I don't know where Dr. Pancake went. I look like Scat? You're saying I look like Scat, bro? Yo, wait a second. Do you guys think I look like Scat? I don't think I see it, man. I don't think I see it. Funny though. Damn, that's crazy, Greg. I resemble no one on any NFL roster is a crazy thing to say. Mad disrespect, bro. Uh, you're not wrong, though. Is this me? Is this what I look like when I get angry? Is this what I look like when I'm mad at Alex on the podcast because he's not listening to what I'm saying? You meant Ricard? All right. Okay, that's insane. You're crazy, Nato. You guys tell me, do I look like this man? I definitely don't have much body fat as this man. I can confirm that that's true. Is this who I look like? I don't think so. Pull up the video of Ricard with Dat and or Dart and Scat and Dat and Scart. Dart and Scat. Where's the music? Darren Waller. I'm not listening to Darren Waller. Let me find that video of them. You got a link to that video? I know I saw it. I just don't remember where I saw it, so I can't find it. I don't see it anywhere. The sports bras are crazy work. They're actually to measure heart rate. They do look a little funny, though. It's so funny that Dexter Lawrence has this big New York Giants tattoo on his bicep. Do you think if he gets traded to like the Bears, he's just going to throw a freaking Bears tattoo over it? You think I look like Pedro Pascal? That's a compliment. That I will take. I'll take the Pedro Pascal comp. Is it the mustache? It's the mustache. I'll take the Pedro Pascal comp. I actually haven't watched him yet, NYGFL. Thank you for the super chat so much. But I haven't watched Eli Heidenreich. I don't know how you say it. But I haven't watched him yet. Or maybe I have. I actually think that I have watched him. Just I don't think I've watched him enough to give you like a take on him. But I think I have watched him. I know he was listed as a fullback by PFF, wasn't he? So he has similar testing numbers to Christian McCaffrey. Oh, I see. He is a wide receiver. Okay. Yeah, I have watched some of him before. I look like a musketeer. What does that even mean? A musketeer? What? Yo, this guy's got hands, though. This Navy running back has hands. Yo, what up, Sean? Sean's in here. Cyborgatron, what's going on? What up, what up? Yes, exactly, Maskey. The deck soaking up double teams and triple teams. Frees things up for Brian Burns and everybody else. The problem is, so everybody's like, oh, the Giants' run defense sucked last year, and Dexter Lawrence was on this team for all 17 games. It's like, okay, yes, the Giants' run defense sucked, but the two guys starting next to Dexter Lawrence in that 3-4 run defense were a rookie, third-round pick in Darius Alexander, who's under 300 pounds, and Rakeem Nunez-Roches. And if it wasn't Darius Alexander starting, it was Roy Robertson Harris. Those guys all stink. Now, I'm not saying Darius Alexander stinks. I'm saying he's young and he's growing. He wasn't ready to be a starting full-time defensive tackle run stopper. They don't have any run stoppers outside of Dexter Lawrence. So he's soaking up all these double and triple teams. Doesn't do you any good if the two guys next to you can't shed a block to save their lives. You could be doing your job. You could be doing the right thing on film. And those other two guys just can't make the play. So it makes everybody look bad. That's my take on it. All right, you sent one more thing to my inbox, did you, Lucas? Let me check that out. I have a cousin named Lucas. Are we cousins? I like that you attached the picture of Ryan Fitzpatrick and Scat. Wow, what is that? That's a crazy Photoshop, bro. All right, everybody's got to see what Lucas dropped in the chat. Or in my inbox, rather. This is crazy business. This is why I love this community. I built this brick by brick. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Here we are. I guess I really do look like Pat Ricard, don't I? Shoot. This is a crazy picture, Lucas. This is insane. Yo, guys. Do you think I could get 1 yard in a game, 1 rushing yard in a game behind the New York Giants offensive line right now? If they lined me up at running back, can I get 1 yard? Yes or no to one? Just 1 yard. It's 3 feet. I do look like I look like an elite middle linebacker. I look like I am putting in crazy work. I can get a first down, Lucas. You're awesome. Appreciate you. I can get a yard. You guys think I can get a yard? How many yards can I get? You guys forget I'm nice at flag football. You guys remember that? Don't make me pull up the highlights now. Don't make me pull the highlights back up. Those of you who maybe weren't around back in my flag football days, I'm getting back into it soon too. New season coming soon. I'm getting ready to go. QB1 over here. Remember, guys, I'm a QB. Me as a kicker, that's crazy. I actually can't kick a ball. I am not a kicker. I'd be a slot receiver before I'm a kicker because I can run some routes. I'm not very fast, though. I did look like Jacob Rodriguez there, didn't I? Water Boy of the Year. That's me. You got me going to the Pro Bowl as a middle linebacker with 150 tackles. I appreciate you, NATO. Thank you for your confidence in me. Let me tell you this. If I was playing middle linebacker in the NFL, there wouldn't be a working bone in my body left after one game. I don't weigh enough. I'm not tall enough. I'd get ran over. Probably break a neck. I said A, like as if I got more than one to lose. I hate this song. I don't even know why I'm bobbing my head. I got to skip this one. You guys ever do that? Start vibing to a song you don't like? Probably not. All right, let's have the running back conversation. I've seen a few of you pop up with this convo. This is the nicest thing that anybody's ever said to me. Forget A-Train from the boys. RIP. Sorry if I spoiled that. I'm the real A-Train. Thank you, bro. Thank you. When I used to play NBA 2K, like way back when, I'm talking 2K. Which one had Jordan on it the first time? Was it 2K11? 2K12? 2K14? No, 2K14 had LeBron. I think it was 2K11 with Michael Jordan on it. And I used to play my career. I was obsessed. I used to play all the time, but you could put your name in. For some reason, the commentators could only say the nicknames. They couldn't say Anthony, Tony, whatever. So I was A Train. I get a bucket, they go, A Train from deep. Good shot, A Train. So I used to go by A Train in a virtual world. Pretty cool. Hidden lore that nobody, not one of the 452 people tuning in, gives a remote F about. Showtime on 2K? Greg, me too. I don't even have a console that game works on, but it's in my closet. I got it. I will never part ways with that. I've got like a collection of old sports games of like Maddens and 2Ks that I just won't ever get rid of. Even though I can't play them anymore, I'm keeping them. Giovanni, you're cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't think it's too late to get Dexter Lawrence back. I just think it's going to take firing Joe Schoen, and I don't think they're going to do that. So, Echo, I do have Letterboxd. I don't think I'm going to share it though. I don't think I'm publicly sharing my Letterboxd, but I'm a big movie buff. That's my outside of football, my biggest hobby is movies. I'm like a really big movie guy. We could totally talk movies. DM me on Twitter. I'll share it with you, but I'm not going to throw it out there publicly. But we could talk some movies. My favorite Madden was Madden 12, with the one with Marshall Faulk / Peyton Hillis. I loved that Madden. Madden 25, 2014 Madden. Not like the most recent 25, but the first Madden 25, since there's two of them. That one was crazy fire, with Barry Sanders on it. My dream draft scenario is probably trade down and get a 2027 first-round pick. The Brandon Allen signing, I think, is fine. He's worked with a lot of really good quarterback coaches. I'll say that. I mean, let me look through Brandon Allen's history. Things to do in Denver when you are dead. I haven't heard of that one. I'll put it on the list for show. Yeah, so he's worked with Brian Callahan more than once. He worked with him in Cincinnati and in Tennessee. And he was with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco in 2024. So Brandon Allen's just worked with some really good QBs. I think that he's somebody who could interestingly be like a Davis Webb, like a player coach. You know, remember Davis Webb was like a coach for the Giants, even though he was signed as a player. I could see Brandon Allen doing that. So I kind of like that. And I'm curious by it. So we'll see. He's QB3. He probably doesn't make the roster, but throughout training camp, I don't think it hurts to have him around. The platform. I don't think I've seen the platform. I've heard of it, though. I've got some college buddies who like it. If I was a couple years younger, I could step in for Dexter Lawrence. I don't think I'm nearly heavy enough for that. Yeah, okay, NATO. You're not going to get me. NATO, you have gotten me before in the past. I know you as a troll in the chat, but that one's too egregious. You can't get me with that one. Lou, that's crazy to say about the Johnny Depp. I've got a stubble and a stash. I don't have the whole goatee going, but he's not one of my goats. I like Johnny Depp a lot, but he's not one of my goats. The last time we had an Ole Miss quarterback, we reached the Super Bowl. I believe in Dart. Dart MVP 2026. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Why did I pull up my calculator? What was I talking about? What did I miss here? You guys made me lose my train of thought. I just had the calculator app open on my phone. I'm like, what was I doing? I don't remember. Oh, well. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was trying to weigh out how Dexter Lawrence weighs what? 347? You would need two of me and then somebody who weighs 20% of me to equal out to Dexter Lawrence. He's more than twice the size of me. literally more than twice as heavy as I am. Would I make that trade? Yeah, I would take the 4th overall pick for sure. You don't even need to give me the 3rd. I'll just take the 4th. I'll definitely do that. Sega NHL Hockey. I didn't play that one. I have played a little NHL, EA Sports recently though. Not back in the day, but recently I have. I don't know, man. The whole Dexter Lawrence situation sucks though. Like, I hate that it got to this point. I wish he wasn't asking for the raise, and I wish that the Giants were good and that he didn't want to leave. Hey, can we give me some credit though, because last week when the Dexter Lawrence trade request happened, I told you guys, based on my knowledge and info, that the trade request was not just about money and it wasn't just a negotiation tactic, but he has real issues with the organization and wants out. I said that here on the channel. Those of you who tuned in, a bunch of people were saying, no, it's just about the money. This is just a negotiation tactic. Even reporters were saying that. And I was like, the reporters are wrong. I'm right. I have the information that they don't have. This is not just about the money. Yesterday, confirmed by Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports that it wasn't just the money. Then Ryan Dunleavy confirms it. Then finally, Jordan Renan and all the other reporters confirm that it's not just about the money. Just saying, you guys heard it here first. I'm not going to lie. That was information that I held on to for months and I didn't share you guys. I knew this was coming. Maybe I shouldn't have said that part. Dex ain't going to be on the Giants, guys. I'm sorry. He doesn't want to be here. But this is a Giants issue. The Giants should have done something. Giants should have fixed this a while ago, and they chose not to. I have seen Once Upon a Time in America, but a long time ago. I got to rewatch it. That's actually like one of the movies that I've said recently I got to see again. Echo, yeah, I know for sure that. I know Paul Schwartz just reported a couple days ago. He said the teams have not called the Giants with interest in Dexter Lawrence. I know for a fact that that's not true. That's a lie. No disrespect to Paul. I don't think he's intentionally lying. I think he said based on what he's heard. So, but what he heard came from the Giants, and the Giants are not. Dexter Lawrence, the Giants have absolutely gotten calls. I know, I'm not going to say, but I know at least 2 teams that have called the Giants about Dexter Lawrence. For those of you who have been on here for a while, now that we're at the almost 2.5 hour mark, you are the ones who earned the exclusive info. That's why I'm dropping it. But yeah, the Giants have gotten calls. Dexter Lawrence just doesn't want to be here. It's not just about the money. The money's a big part of it. If the Giants offered him a sick contract, yeah, he'd sign it and he'd stay. But they're not going to offer him that sick contract, and he doesn't want the sick contract from the Giants. He wants it from another team because he knows another team will give it to him. So yes. I do think that would have avoided the issue. I would say no, because with George Pickens, you got to pay him more than you pay Dex. Wide receivers make more. I mean, George Pickens on that 1-year, $35 million franchise tag right now. Or you got to pay him a long-term contract, and then you're back in another issue. And George Pickens is an extremely volatile character. So I wouldn't make that trade personally. What's up, Adrian? Yo, drop something in the chat if you've been in the live stream from start to now. Like if you were in here in the first 10 minutes and you're still here, drop it in the chat. I'm curious. I also, because we're over 2 hours now, I got to do another ad read, so I'm going to do that in a minute, just as a heads up, guys. Yeah, Echo, you have been in here all the time. Vapor, you too. Appreciate you guys. Giovanni, you guys are awesome. Lucas, yeah, you've been here the whole time. You guys are so awesome for that. NYGFL, I already know. Yeah, NATO. NATO's always one of the first few comments. Cam 2K, appreciate you. That's so cool. Damn, Justin, you're still here. Let's go. I appreciate you guys for real. I love the community that we built. It's been a long time coming. 6 years we've been building this thing. At least 6 years, right? When was the first Fireside Giants episode? It's got to be 6 years ago. Got you through COVID. That's cool. I appreciate that. You guys remember when we had Jonathan Hilliman on the live stream during the NFL draft? That was crazy. That was cool. We were watching the draft with a New York Giants running back. That was cool. I bet you guys haven't thought about Jonathan Hilliman since Jonathan Hilliman was on the Giants. Yeah, happy humble. We did react to this, and really the reaction that we had was, if you think the situation right now with Dexter Lawrence is ugly, wait for next offseason with Brian Burns. It's going to get worse. Giants better give him that raise. Otherwise, they're going to be back in the same situation. That's really my main reaction. But also, just outside of the Giants, just to react to this from Will Anderson, this is the thing. Will Anderson's contract is such a win for him, not just because of the $50 million a year, but because it's the 3-year contract. Like, you've got Dexter Lawrence in the situation that he's in with the Giants right now because he signed a 5-year deal. That's why he's in this disadvantageous position and he wants to demand more money. Will Anderson signing a 3-year contract means when he is 27 and in his prime, he's not even in his prime yet, he's 24. When he's 27 and in his prime, he's going to be able to negotiate another contract. Holy crap. So the bigger win in that deal is not the $150 million and the 50 per year. That's a big win. Yeah. The big win is the 3-year deal. That's crazy. Good for Will Anderson, bro. Generational wealth that guy's earning. NATO said, LL, not going to lie, y'all literally the only Giants content creators I watch besides Giants now. I rarely watch them. LL, whenever their content come up, I skip. I appreciate you, man. You're one of our all-time OGs. We did the Casey Concepcion video out of your recommendation, bro. But yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you. I don't watch a lot of Giants content because I'm always talking Giants. So when I'm looking for content, I look for other stuff. So I watch a lot of movie content. I watch some golf content. I'm a big Rory McIlroy fan. The Masters was awesome for me this year and last year. And I watch a lot of general NFL content. Like, I like the NFL Stock Exchange, the NFL Draft podcast with Connor Rogers and Trevor Sikkema. I listen to the Rich Eisen show every day, pretty much. Love the Rich Eisen show. If the Giants win a Super Bowl while Jackson Dart is on his rookie contract, he will be getting a $70 million per year contract when they re-sign him. Yeah. So let's say they win a Super Bowl in 2027. 2028, he's getting a $70 million deal. Yeah. Kind of insane. Yeah, he could get up to 90 NATO. It's crazy the way these contracts are moving. 50 million is nuts. Look at a team who knows how to keep their good players. Yeah, I mean, the Texans. Jeff, been with us since the Joe Judge pain. Remember when I was the leader of the Joe Judge fan club? I try and forget that, honestly. That was funny, though. Do you guys think that we're going to get to a point where NFL players are making $100 million a year? I mean, you've got some baseball players doing that now, right? Like, what does Juan Soto make? Juan Soto makes, what did he sign? A 7-year, $700 million contract, right? Or something like that. Didn't he sign a $1 billion deal almost? Like the incentives can get him up over $800 million. Juan Soto contract. 15-year. Okay, so definitely different. But 760. Holy crap, $765 million. He got a $75 million signing bonus. Holy freaking. Oh my God. That is insane. Oh my God. His average annual salary is only $51 million, but MLB doesn't even drive in close to the revenue that the NFL drives in. If the NFL didn't have a salary cap, this league would suck. Thank God we have a salary cap. Shohei Ohtani's contract is 10 years, $700 million. That's $70 million a year. So yeah, if Jackson Dart wins a Super Bowl on his rookie contract, he'll be getting $70 million per year. Yeah, Echo, I hear you. He shouldn't have left. Juan Soto should not have left. I mean, he definitely hurt his career by doing that. But he didn't hurt his bank account, so true colors were shown. I'm not going to share that information, Giovanni. It's respectable, though. I'm only 24, so, you know. I know. I don't understand that. If you have no salary cap in baseball, why are you not just buying every good player if you're the Yankees? You're the freaking Yankees. The Yankees are the most valuable sports team in the world, are they not? Yeah, Dodgers are just unstoppable at this point. I don't even watch baseball like that. Highest valued sports teams in the world. Let's see. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys are the highest valued, $13 billion. Then the Warriors at $11 billion. The Giants at $10.1 billion are the fourth most valuable sports franchise in the world. Yankees are 10th at $8.2 billion, tied with the Chicago Bears. Giovanni, you're from LA. I'm going to LA in 2 weeks. I'll be in LA. See my sister. I love LA. NATO, I don't think that's happening, brother. Sorry, man. Different career paths were chosen. Is what it is. Happy, humble, hungry. What's the Giants collective schedule next week? We're going to be live on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And on Thursday, I think we're going to go live at 6:30, but I don't know yet. I don't know for sure what we're doing Thursday. But we'll definitely be live Tuesday at our normal time. Giants Collective is run by Hog Media up here, who sponsors with Prize Picks, which reminds me, let me do a Prize Picks read for you guys real quick. All right. Let me find this. My plan during the draft is to be live, man. I'll be live right here on the channel. Better tune in. All right. So, I got to pull that up again. Here we go. Bear with me, guys. Let me get the setup. All right, so quick break here just to shout out the sponsor of today's episode, Prize Picks. If you aren't playing on Prize Picks yet, you're missing out. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. It is a daily fantasy sports platform. The app is super easy to use. You can even use it on desktop like we're about to right here. No complicated lines to worry about. As you can see, you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Incredibly easy and straightforward, and it's available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. one of the coolest parts is that Prize Picks has a feature that allows you to follow your friends and others on the app like you would any social media platform. You can even follow yours truly on the app at Anthony Rivardo. There's my platform. You can follow me. There's my profile, you can follow me there. And you can tail all my lineups and see exactly what I'm picking before I even post them on Fireside Giants. So if you want to get in on the action, download the app using code HMA and the link in the description. You will get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Good luck. Enjoy the games. And remember to play responsibly. And also, I can't show you guys because it's not on desktop, but on the app, you can actually do NFL draft picks. So you can predict the picks on the Prize Picks app, which I'm definitely going to be doing because I consume way too much NFL draft content. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Sonny Styles to the Giants at 5. You can make those picks too, which is really cool. So we were looking at these picks earlier, Will Anderson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Will Anderson getting paid today. I like him over 11 sacks. I like Jahmyr Gibbs rushing yards this year. Why don't we find somebody's receiving yards that we like as well? I think that could be pretty cool. Ooh, not going to lie. Brock Bowers at 849.5. Not bad. That's interesting. Brock Bowers. Michael Pittman, 774.5. I'm going to take that. That's a steal, man. I'm going to take the more on that because, I'm going to be honest, man, I think Michael Pittman, really good football player. And he's the WR1. Well, he's WR2 over there. Let me actually take that back. Forgot they got DK Metcalf. My bad, guys. You know what? Screw it. Let's just go to the Jackson Dart. My faithful 19.5. More on that one. Submit the lineup. See how easy it was to do, guys? It's that easy. Like I said, use code HMA. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Check out Prize Picks now. Link in the description. All right, let's get back into it. I'll probably be watching the draft on ESPN or NFL Network. They always have it. So I'll watch it there, and then I will react to it here. I can't show you guys the draft because of copyright issues, but I can react to it, which is what I'm going to do. I've got my iPad here. I'm going to watch it there, and I'm going to react right here. What's your favorite game day food? You're watching a football game. What are you eating? I'm making smash burgers tonight for my girlfriend and I, and I'm super excited. I'm going to smash some meat tonight. Maybe I should end the stream after that one. I just watched the viewer count drop after I said that. Brutal. All right, so last topic of discussion let's dive into here. Jeremiyah Love. Where do we all stand on him? Let me say this about Jeremiyah Love. He is the best player in the draft class. I would not be mad if the Giants take him at 5 overall. But I also recognize taking a running back at 5 overall when you have massive holes at defensive tackle, guard, cornerback, and several other positions is not a good idea. But it's a fun idea. So if the Giants take him at 5, I'm not going to be upset. But I am going to be upset. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Love or Downs at 5, but trading back preferred. I would like to see the Giants trade down. I just wonder what they'd get. I do think, though, if you've got like Arvell Reese on the board, somebody's going to trade up with the Giants, I think. Somebody's going to offer a nice amount to move up to 5 if Arvell Reese is on the board. Or David Bailey. I think he's going number 2 to the Jets. It's kind of funny because the draft really starts at pick 3 this year. I think we know who 1 and 2 are. You know, we know it's going to be Mendoza, obviously, at 1. And then 2, I think we all know it's going to be David Bailey. So it's like, what are the Cardinals doing? Because the Cardinals could realistically take anybody. They could take Love. They could take Styles. They could take Reese. Or they could trade down. And they want to trade down. They're trying to trade down. And obviously, we know that the Cowboys have called them. So I think they're going to move up to 3, the Cowboys. I think they're going to try. Somebody's going to move up to 3. Cardinals are going to trade down. They're going to get a haul of draft picks. Like a gross amount, King's ransom. And then that's going to change what happens at 4 and 5. But if I had to predict it right now, number 1, Mendoza. Number 2 is going to be David Bailey. Number 3 is going to be Arvell Reese, whoever trades into that spot. Number 4 is going to be Jeremiyah Love, and number 5 is going to be Sonny Styles to the New York Giants. That's my prediction right now if I'm picking what's happening in the draft as we are 6 days away. Now, the caveat here is I could see the Titans taking Sonny Styles at 4 if they don't take Love. I could totally see them saying, all right, this is Robert Saleh's defense. This is Robert Saleh's team. He loves linebackers. He coached Fred Warner. He coached all those guys with the Jets. He's taking Sonny Styles. That's his piece. I could see that being the case. And then, yeah, that would suck for the Giants. But then I think that John Harbaugh absolutely loves Jeremiyah Love, and he would take him. And like I said, guys, I agree. Somebody in the chat said Jeremiyah Love doesn't really make the team better. I kind of agree with that. I think the team is still where it was a day ago if they draft Jeremiyah Love, but they definitely got a generational talent. So, John Stewart, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how Bailey jumped over Reese in the rankings. I don't really get it. But fun fact, David Bailey's pro comp, according to most analysts, is Brian Burns. So maybe Brian Burns helped him improve his draft stock by having such a good season. Yeah, I think it would be a double win, Lou. If the Giants traded down and still got Caleb Downs, which, according to Jordan Renan, is what they want to do. They want to trade down and take Caleb Downs. That's their preferred route in this class. If they can't find a trade down partner where they can still get Downs, they want to take Sonny Styles or Jeremiyah Love at 5. One of those 3 things they're going to be able to do. But also, guys, I wouldn't rule out a far trade down for the Giants. I know people think, oh, they won't move down past this pick. I could see them moving down into the 15 to 20 range and taking Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon, a receiver. They like these receivers. The Giants would not have had this many visits with the receivers if they weren't seriously considering trading down and taking one. Who is my pick at 5? I would take Sonny Styles if I had the choice. If Styles is not on the board, I'd probably take Love. If Love is not on the board and Styles is not on the board, I would be pushing to trade down. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, I would like to trade down over anybody. I want to trade down in this class. But that's contingent on the Giants not having a second first-round pick. If they trade Dexter Lawrence and they have a second-round pick or a second first-round pick, then I don't want to trade down. But if they've only got the 5th overall pick and then they're picking 37 and then, not picking in the 3rd, I want to trade down. The Giants need more picks. They need more positions filled. They need to get draft capital, in my opinion. Lou, I wouldn't hate having 12 and 20, but I don't think you can trade with the Cowboys because if the Cowboys trade up to 5 and they take Sonny Styles and he becomes a Hall of Famer, Giants fans will never hear the end of it. Yeah, Giovanni, I wouldn't hate taking Reese at 5 and just saying, hey, you're an inside linebacker now. That's it. And then you move him around and you play him all over the place, I think it's kind of like overrated to say, you can't take another inside linebacker / edge in Arvell Reese because in these modern defenses, like let's think about, for example, let's go with this formation, a 2-4-5 nickel defense. Let's take that as an example. In a 2-4-5 nickel defense, you have 2 down linemen and 4 linebackers. Your 2 D linemen, one of them is a nose tackle, one of them is a defensive tackle, so 2 defensive tackles is the 2. And then the 4 is linebackers, which is really 2 edge rushers, Burns and Carter, and then Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese in the situation. So let's project this lineup and what this would look like. Let's assume Dexter Lawrence is still on the field just so I can kind of have that. Dexter Lawrence and Darius Alexander are your 2 down linemen. You have your edges of Carter and Burns over each of the tackles. Your inside linebacker, truly, your Mike, is Tremaine Edmonds, and then your weak side linebacker is Arvell Reese, but he's lined up in the A gap and he's pass rushing and he's getting after the quarterback like an edge rusher would. So now you're sending a 5-man rush with 5 defensive backs in coverage and Tremaine Edmonds in coverage. So you've got 6 players in coverage. I think that's doable. And a lot of teams run a base nickel defense. Why can't the Giants run a 2-4-5? And you've got Arvell Reese playing edge rusher from the middle linebacker spot, rotating with Abdul Carter, who also used to be an off-ball linebacker and can rotate in. So instead of having a traditional defensive tackles, edge rushers, off-ball linebackers, you could make this makeshift defense where Carter and Reese are rotating from the edge to the inside to the edge to the inside and moving all over the front four, and you're always rushing 4 or 5. Which is a blitz-heavy, aggressive defense. I don't hate it. So I'd be open to Reese. The only problem is that doesn't really sound like Denard Wilson's scheme or something like he's comfortable doing. So it probably wouldn't work out. But I'd be interested. Nato, I did used to have a baby face. When I was in college, when I first got to college, my face was like, I used to shave it all. No more. Egotistical saying, new sub, Anthony. I found Bad Dogs channel, then watch Giants Collective and sub to all you guys. Big Giants fan, love talking and debating. Keep it up, man. Thank you so much. I love that a lot of people are finding me through Giants Collective. It used to be that people were finding Giants Collective through me. Now people are finding me through Giants Collective, and I think that's awesome. I love doing that show. It's super fun. The whole crew. I love the entertainer. That's my dog for real. Bad Dog's awesome too, and so is Adriana. I love sitting there and debating Giants with them. We had some heavy debates on last night's show. We were not agreeing. I was like, everybody was disagreeing with me. It was just me. But it was fun. So here's my take on this hot nickels, and this is kind of like a minority opinion, I would say. I actually think if the Giants trade Dexter Lawrence, they're more likely to trade Kayvon Thibodeaux. Here's why. If you trade Dexter Lawrence, you do not have a single starting talent at defensive tackle. You need 3 starters at defensive tackle. Reminder, guys, the Giants have 1 of 3, and they're about to trade that one away. So they need 3 starting defensive tackles if they trade Dexter Lawrence. They have 3 starting edge rushers, and you only need 2. So you have a surplus in one spot, and you have a shortage in the other. Economics says you sell the surplus to fill the shortage. You trade Kayvon Thibodeaux away, and you replace Dexter Lawrence by trading away Kayvon. You get $14 million in cap space by trading away Kayvon. You get a draft pick by trading Kayvon, or a player swap. Maybe you get a starting defensive tackle, and you have to fill those other 3 positions by moving off of your surplus. Ideally, you have surplus everywhere, right? You have 3 starting edges. You have 4 starting defensive tackles. The Giants have 0 starting caliber defensive tackles if they trade away Dexter Lawrence. That's the truth of it. And you guys know I love Darius Alexander, but he's 290 pounds. He's undersized. He's not a 3-down player yet. He can get there. He can become a 3-down player, but he's not there yet. So you got a surplus at one position. You got a shortage at another. You got to balance it out. So, and yeah, future 8-man, I agree. If you're not going to pay Dex or pay Kayvon, you got to get an asset for him. You got to get a pick or a player and trade him. I agree. Appreciate you, egotistical. Thank you. Who do I think is the front runner for the Dex trade? Sad to say, but it looks like that is what will happen. We were bad for too long. I don't know. Should I tell you guys who the front runner is? I don't think I will. I don't think I will tell you. I don't think I will share my. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I don't know. I don't know about any Northern New York teams that are really interested in Dexter Lawrence. The Bears are interested too, though, Echo, for sure. Chargers will call. Titans, NATO. The Titans are not giving the 4th overall pick. I did say it, by the way, guys, if you caught it. So, you know. If the Giants get the 10th overall pick, they'll take it for sure. Can you guys think about how good Jeremiah Love and Jackson Darby be as a duo, though? Like, I get it, Fantasy Feud. You don't want Jeremiah Love. I get it because of the positional value and taking a running back at 5 when you've got all these holes. Totally understand. But could you imagine how good he would be? How good that offense could be? It would be pretty awesome. Yeah, Echo, if we were trading Dex for the 10th pick, we'd probably have to give up a lot, like in return. Like it would have to balance out somehow. It wouldn't just be 10 for Dex straight up. It'd probably be like 10 for Dex on our second, probably. Like it's probably like trading up from 37 to 10 is how you'd have to look at it. If you can leave the draft with both Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, how would that work though? All right, let's do one more mock draft before we get out of here because we are coming up on the 3 hour mark, which is kind of insane. But that's because I love you guys. I love talking Giants. So let's do one more mock draft. Let's do the mock draft to end all mock drafts where we get both Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. You guys ready for this one? Damn it. In the mock draft machine, the Titans keep taking Sonny Styles from me. All right, we're good. Let me share my screen. Fantasy Feud, that's exactly what I was about to do. You read my mind. Who's going to be the Fireside mascot for the season? Well, if we trade Kayvon, it can't be Tibosaurus Rex anymore. I'll have to find somebody else. Elsewhere on my desk is an elephant and a turtle. So those are contenders. Or we can find something else. All right, so here's the mock trade to end all mock trades. Damn, didn't work. Caleb Downs went 7 to the Commanders. That took the wind out of our sails. Spider-Man could be the mascot. Spider-Man's back here in every episode. I got 2 Spider-Man back here. All right, let's try and do this again. I mean, would you guys trade up from 37 to 5 by trading away Dexter Lawrence? Would you do that? I mean, to 10? Would you go from 37 to 10, but you got to give up Dexter Lawrence to get there? If you could get Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs at the same time. You guys would do it? It's interesting. You think that's too much? Dexy in a second? I view it as a trade up because there's some saying that the Giants won't even get a first for Dex. I don't know how much I believe that, but there's some saying it. There we go. Look at this. Yeah, we could just take another Ohio State player. Let's just build the Ohio State defense. What a mock draft. Thoughts, chat? Chat, thoughts? I don't know. That's the most insane mock draft I've ever seen. Drop the grade, guys. A through F. Drop the grade. Well, I can tell Echo wants Caleb Downs. B plus, A plus, A plus, A. But we need Tana to play guard. Tana, I don't think Tana can play guard. What about to the Jets for their second first-round pick? I don't know. That's actually interesting. All right, we'll do one more mock draft. Fine. Guys, one more. Just one more. Trenches. I don't know. That kind of worked out. Grade this one, guys. I know you guys are going to say A plus on that one for sure. That one's fire. Come on. That's a fire mock draft. I don't know enough about baseball to rebuild the Mets. I'm sorry. That mock draft is crazy, though. Vega Ioane might be the next Quentin Nelson. You might be getting 2 All-Pros for 1. Yeah, I know some of you don't like Sonny Styles, though. I think Sonny Styles has All-Pro potential, though. You might be getting an All-Pro at Styles. You might be getting an All-Pro at Ioane. You're probably getting a solid starter in Woods, and I think a solid starter in Dalen Everett, too. I just don't think the Jets are going to give up a first for Dex, though. But who knows? Let me give you guys the most realistic, in my opinion, mock trade for Dexter Lawrence. This is what I think is most realistic. I think the Giants get a future first, a current second, and a player. That's what I think is going to happen. Let's do this mock trade, mock draft. You guys let me know what you think of that one. It's a lot different for sure, but you got a future first, so. Thank you, Mrs. Fireside Giants. Guys, as we cross over the 3-hour mark, I'm going to have to sign off because if I don't, I might not be able to hold myself from the bathroom any longer. So we're going to have to end the mock draft palooza here. I'll be live again before the NFL draft, and I'll be live for the NFL draft. So, guys, I do appreciate everybody who's been tuned in, especially those of you who've been here from the start, which is amazing. Shout out to you, NATO. Shout out to you. Lucas was in here forever. Echo was in here. A lot of you. Giovanni. So many of you were in here from start to finish. Big shout outs to all of you. Really appreciate all the love. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you just for the chats in general, the viewership, the support, the love, everything. Thank you, everybody. If you tuned in just 10 minutes ago, if you tuned in an hour ago, if you tuned in 3 hours ago, it's all appreciated nonetheless. So thank you guys so much. As I'm wrapping this thing up, like I said, as you all know, this show is sponsored by Prize Picks now. So do make sure to check them out. Link down below in the description box. Use code HMA when you sign up for $50. When you play $5. So definitely check that out. And like I said, we'll be live all 3 days of the NFL draft. Please tune in with me. Come by Thursday, come by Friday, come by Saturday. It'll be this fun and more fun. So definitely tune in. John Stewart, I got you. Hulk Smash Burgers tonight. NATO, love you, my guy. NYGFL, same best content creator. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And yes, let's go Knicks. Hopefully they get that dub on Saturday. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you guys so much. Let's go New York Giants. Hey, if there is a breaking Dexter Lawrence trade over the weekend, expect to see me back live on the channel once again. And nevertheless, I can't wait for next weekend. It's going to be a blast live streaming during the NFL draft. So guys, catch you all in the next one. Have a good one, and let's go New York Giants.